Griselda, please read the call.
Notice of a public meeting of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville pursuant to Chapter 551, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act. Notice is hereby given that the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, in accordance with Article 5, Section 12 of the Charter of said city, will convene a workshop, an executive session, and a regular meeting on Tuesday, June 1st, 2010 at 5:10 p.m., 5:45 p.m., and 6 p.m. in the Commission chambers on the second floor of the Brownsville City Hall, Federal Building located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas 78520. With the workshop starting, Greater Brownsville Incentives Corporation, JBIC report.
Mr. Hiltz.
Good afternoon. My name is Jason Hiltz. I'm the Executive Director for the Greater Brownsville Incentive Corporation and also the President and CEO of the Brownsville EDC. Mr. Rafael Carrasco, Chairman of GBIC, is not able to join us tonight, so he's asked me to make the presentation on his behalf. So we'd like to give you a brief presentation on what's going on with GBIC. To start off with, the Brownsville Economic Development Council, which is a contractor to the GBIC, our mission is to lead, facilitate, and promote the economic industrial development for the Brownsville-Matamoros borderplex, and to build economic prosperity and create employment opportunities in the region by utilizing the resources and expertise of public-private institutions in collaboration with the Greater Brownsville Incentive Corporation. Some of the things I'll be presenting to you may be redundant to some people, but I know we have some newer commissioners. We'd like to give you some background information, also for the public at hand. Some of the things we'd like to talk about is the funding mechanism, funds and expenditures of GBIC, probably go through a project process, some of the projects we have in the pipeline, knocking on doors, branding Greater Brownsville, and some of the new projects we have that have committed to Brownsville. In terms of GBIC funds, back in 1989, the Texas legislation developed the Texas Economic Development Sales Tax. It is the backbone of economic development for over 500 communities in the state of Texas. You hear us talk about 4A and 4B funds. Well, in 2007, that was changed to Type A and Type B funds. So we'll be talking about Type A, which is funds utilized by GBIC. In terms of most A projects, they must create and retain primary jobs. A primary job is where the majority of the products or services are exported. In return, new dollars are brought into the community. Examples would be manufacturing companies, wholesale trade, financial institutions, scientific R&D, information such as back office type facilities, transportation, warehousing, and call centers. Other type of A uses includes business airports. If you remember, GBIC has supported a project at the Brownsville Airport, relocating the livestock center out there, building new hangars, doing new roads, the new maintenance center. Port-related facilities, job training, career centers such as VITA, enterprise expansion, certain infrastructure improvements. Also land, for example, GBIC developing the North Brownsville Industrial Park. Also go towards buildings, equipment, facilities, improvements, and expenditures in manufacturing, industrial, R&D, recycling, small warehouses, distribution centers, corporate headquarter facilities, closed or realigned military bases, and training facilities by higher education institutions. Okay. If you look at the fund balance for GBIC as of April 31st, 2010, the beginning fund balance at the beginning of the fiscal year was a little over $17 million. Revenues so far have been $2.4 million. Expenditures have been a little over $4 million, which gives us a total fund balance of $15.2 million. When you take away funds that have already been approved for designated projects, which go into a restricted account, the available funds today is a little over $6 million. This means that GBIC could write a check for $6 million today for any given project. If you look at some of the potential funding requests that we have, We have a request coming from the Brownsville SBI Airport in support of American Airlines for $700,000. Another $2 million in infrastructure projects at the airport. BCIC, $3.9 million. Project Ruth, Project Media Luna, Project Ritchie, Frog, and Maverick are all projects that we're working right now. We have potential funding requests right now of about $10.1 million. Normally, when we are working with a project, we work with signed confidentiality agreements that we have between us and the company. This is usually requested by the firm because a lot of times we're working with a publicly traded company, and so they cannot release this kind of information, or we're working with a company that has a union situation, so we have to be very protective of their desire to negotiate in good faith without having external pressures brought to bear. Also, it keeps neighboring communities from knowing who the company is as we're working through the process. Usually we get our leads by working site selectors, working with business and brokers, and also management teams through companies. We have a request for funding by the BDC. It's received by the BDC. We have a third-party CPA that does a review of all financials. We don't review it. We have a CPA do that. We let the professionals do the financial review. What we look at the business plan for the company, the history of the project that they're requesting to do. We require 2 to 3 years of financials, audited financials. We request the federal income tax returns. We do background checks on the principals. We look at where the project is going to land in Brownsville. What is the amount of investment? Is it a targeted company? Is this the kind of company we want to bring in Brownsville? Does it fit Imagine Brownsville? Is the project going to be serviced by the PUB? Is it a job creator? What kind of jobs are being created? Are wages above at least $10 an hour? Are benefits being provided? And also, what is the economic impact of this project coming to Brownsville?
Jason?
Yes.
If the state economic development team has done this already and they're passing on a prospect, do you guys still go through that process?
Yes, we do, because when the state brings a project to us, they're normally working with a site selector, and they do their initial due diligence. But in terms of going through all their financials before the project comes to us, they do not do that. That's up to each individual community to do the due diligence they need to do to see if that fits their community or not. And it's in our best interest to do that due diligence and not to rely upon someone else to do that as well. Okay. Some of the projects in the pipeline, you can't win them all. We just lost a potential project called Project Ebenezer. San Antonio landed this project. This is a back office. This was for Kohl's. And we did not have a 100,000 square foot building sitting there ready for them to move into. We made the short list of 1 of 3 communities in the state of Texas. It came down to not having a building. And then the state came in and provided them with enterprise fund money. And they're moving in now. They're going to create 1,000 jobs in San Antonio. So that was a project that we lost. Other project that we are in contention for, this is a Project Media Luna. This is an expansion of a business facility and its headquarters. The project projected employment growth will be 200 plus jobs at $10 an hour and above. They provide benefits to all their employees, 401k, health, medical, what have you, making a significant investment in Brownsville, and they're looking at setting up other sites within the state of Texas as well, where Brownsville is their headquarters. We're working with the state right now to get training funds for them, and we're looking at an incentive program to support their job creation in Brownsville. We have a lot of prospects coming to us from Mexico, one in the recycling business from Veracruz, a power generation company from Mexico City, logistics, and food industry companies out of Monterrey and Saltillo area. Project Blue Northern, we're very involved in trying to bring renewable energy type firms to Brownsville. These are firms involved in manufacturing components for that industry. We are on a short list. We're one of 3 sites listed in the state of Texas. We expect their site visit in the next 2 months. They're seeking 250,000 square foot of space close to the Port of Brownsville. We are promoting the Titan building to be subdivided and they can use 250,000 square foot of that. This company is manufacturing wind turbines, expected to go in production by 2012. One of the keys will be the technical school, such as TSC, and they're looking to create over 350 jobs at above average wages, more than the $10 that we require. Okay. Project Ruth is a Fortune 100 company. It's down between Brownsville and San Diego, California. They're coming back for another site visit in June. This is an R&D facility looking to invest $20 million, renewable energy sector as well. Remember Fulton 8 in the algae, the biofuel. This is in the same industry, but this company, as I said, is a Fortune 100 company, and they're looking to locate or relocate about 20 scientists to the area and working together with the University of Texas to do continued research on their project.
Jason, I'm sorry, how soon do you think we'd hear of some of these prospects? Is it like any day now, or is it going to?
Project Ruth, they're coming back for another visit this month in June.
Okay.
We just spent the weekend replying to them. They had some additional questions. And in fact, my staff is working on sending out 3 binders to them tonight with all the information. They're on a fast track.
Right.
Probably within the next 45 days, there will be a decision made for that.
And let me just say, Jason, that I know from time to time we get different emails from Gilbert inviting us to meet with some of these folks and continue to do that, whatever it takes to kind of, again, sit down with these individuals and hopefully kind of lure them down to Brownsville, whatever it takes, we're there to help.
It's important for them to get to know the leadership of Brownsville and to get to know community leaders in terms of industry. And so anytime you can join us, I know many of you have joined us in the past. We're very appreciative of that. That does make a difference. Okay. The next project is Project Frog. We've been working this project, and please understand that many projects take time to develop. When you're talking about a company relocating their facilities and the things they have to go through, financing, what have you, it could take 1 year to 2 years to get a project to happen. Project Frog is a project we've been working for 1 year. As a company out of the Michigan area. We are shortlisted. We're the only Texas community under consideration. We're also looking at Michigan, and Michigan's trying hard to keep them. The state of Tennessee is making a big bid for them, and also Canada has a visit with them as well. They would start off in a 50,000 square foot facility, growing into 200,000 square foot, upwards of 1,000 employees, manufacturing wage of $12 an hour plus full benefits. As you can see, these are some of the vehicles that they manufacture. They do ATVs, and what they are, they're high-speed amphibious vehicles, where you have an ATV that will turn into a jet ski. It's kind of James Bondish, but if you look at South Padre Island, lifeguards, the Border Patrol, what have you, great products for them. Okay. Project Pearl, this is out of the New York area. We're working with a site consultant. Just had a conference call with them last week, our second meeting with them. We're down to a short list. They're looking at Brownsville. They're also looking at Matamoros. They're comparing the 2 sites. The company is trying to keep it in the States if the numbers will work out, but this is in the medical manufacturing industry.
Jason, when you say shortlisted, how many are on the short list?
A short list to us is no more than 5 communities. If you get down to a short list of 3 to 5, you're doing pretty good. And many of these companies will start off with a list of 100 different communities before they start narrowing it down. Okay. Knocking on doors. I'm going to ask Gilbert to cover some of this. This is some of the outreach that we're doing, knocking on doors, and some of the media components.
City Commissioners, thank you for having us. Good afternoon. One of the things that we do is going out there and what we call relationship marketing, just knocking on doors and telling companies out there. And I like to say, quite a few of them are Fortune 500 companies, telling them who we are, because if we're not there to tell them who we are, they're not going to know. I mean, we all know who Brownsville, Matamoros, and the Port of Brownsville is, but a lot of people out there don't. We have since the beginning of the fiscal year in October. We've generated a little over 1,000 qualified leads. And a qualified lead is a company that pretty much is in a growth or an expansion mode. They're planning to grow or expand within the next 12 to 36 months, and they fit pretty much what we're doing with Imagine Brownsville. They fit those target industries. And then we go after them. We do a lot of cold calling, a lot of emails, and trying to get our foot into the door. Of those, we've had 322 no interest that pretty much said, thanks, but no thanks, we're not interested in Brownsville. Whether they know about it or not, we're still there telling them the story. And sometimes, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, they'll call back. But we have to tell them who we are. As a result of the knocking on doors, we've had 65 prospect meetings since October. And some of the projects that we listed earlier is a result of our knocking on doors. The sources, we've got some consultants that work with us. They've generated 52 of those leads. In-house, we've generated 27 of those. Texas One, which is through the governor's office, they've generated 28 of those. CODEM, which is our counterpart in Matamoros, has done 1. And then the Real South Texas Economic Development Group, which is a group of all the economic development firms in the Rio Grande Valley, have come together and formed one regional ED. They've had 4 leads. Some of the missions that we have coordinated and attended include, just Detroit, the Michigan region, Chicago, the Wind Power Show, which is, no pun intended, but full of energy. I mean, there's a lot of activity there. And Brownsville's in a very good position. Brownsville, the Port of Brownsville, and Matamoros, very, very nice position geographically and also economically, and also with the skill set that we have to land some of these projects. The New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, about 60% of Fortune 500 companies are clustered in this area, so it makes a lot of sense for us to be there. The Ohio region, the Intersolar Show, and then of course Monterrey, Mexico City, Saltillo, and then the Wisconsin, Minnesota, that's pending. That's another area that we'll be hitting here in the next couple of months. This is a cross-section of the industries that we have visited. Site selectors and brokers, and just a background on who these individuals are. They are the ones that they represent 70% of the companies that are in growth mode. So it just makes a lot of sense for us to be in discussions with them and telling them who we are, because sometimes they don't know who we are, 1, and 2, they start off with 300 communities, 300 MSAs, and their job is to narrow them down for this one company to 5, and I think we've done a very nice job of doing that here in this fiscal year. Automotive manufacturing is one of the leading industries that we've been visiting with. Logistics, steel, electronic components, a little bit of retail, medical device manufacturing, and then also automotive R&D. Invest in Texas, this is a partnership we have with the governor's office, and they also coordinate the several business recruitment missions, and we've been with them throughout the United States. And usually they'll have either Secretary of State, the First Lady, and every now and then they'll have the governor with us promoting, doing business in Texas. And then they'll have 10 regions, 10 communities attend the mission, and also you do your part in not only promoting the state, but also your city. And we're usually, 1, not only invited, but 2, we also attend these. And we also get, as you saw previously, we've got at least a couple of dozen leads that have come out of working with with the governor's office. And Texas is hot right now. It has been for the last 3 years, and it will continue to be, as it's the state that's leading the nation in job growth. 70% of the job growth is in the state of Texas, so all site consultants, brokers, companies are looking at the state of Texas, so it's to our benefit to be there with them. We also had the opportunity to join Governor Rick Perry in New York on a business recruitment mission. This was at the beginning of our fiscal year. As you can see, he's there at Times Square, and we're, one of the companies that we're talking to is a result of having our name associated with that event. And then one of the other things that we also do is promote our region nationally and internationally. And we do this, we strategically get Brownsville on the radar with different companies by way of doing outreach with the media. We've had 20 interviews with national and international media as a result of us what we call pitching stories to them. All you have to do is just pick up the phone, call them up, say, we're going to be in the Chicago area. This is who we are, and you'd be surprised. 6, 7 times out of 10, we actually, get to go into the lion's den, into the newsroom, and talk to them. And of course, all the questions that you could imagine do come up. But we're well prepared to tell our story, and that's what we want. Just give us an opportunity to tell you the way it is. We've had 20 interviews with results, with stories, 1 guest editorial, 3 interviews that are pending that have not produced articles yet, and then also 11 story pitches that we have done that are either pending interviews or stories as well. Here are some of the articles that have been printed by the different media outlets. My favorite is the Wall Street Journal, although I should not say favorite, but the one that I think, the bigger of the names on there is the Wall Street Journal. And this was just us calling them up. We're going to be in New York, talking to different companies, to site consultants, selectors. Do you want to hear what we have to say? And here's just a little synopsis of who we are. And sure enough, we went in there and we sat with 2 reporters and an editor for an hour and a half. And it was pretty tiring, I'd like to say, but there was a very good story that came out as a result of that media pitch that we did. CNN in Espanol, the AP, Dow Jones. As you can see, I think the list speaks for itself. Then internationally, we hosted a group of reporters in November. And Newsweek out of Europe printed 2 articles. People's Daily, I'd like to note that's the largest newspaper in Asia, has a 5 million circulation, and Brownsville was played up predominantly in that newspaper as a result of us reaching out to them and inviting them down here to see really what Brownsville, Matamoros, and the Port of Brownsville is. Pending results with different pitches that we have done. We may have an article printed, we may not, but the intent is there. But we've talked to all of these, and in some cases we've also interviewed with them, and it's up to them to see if they're going to print another article. There's an article, El Espresso, which is the biggest newspaper in Italy. By all means, calls the Texas Valley, American-style regions, the case of Brownsville, Matamoros. I mean, it's that to me goes farther beyond what an advertisement might do for you. Here's one of the quotes in the AP. Mexican investments plentiful on the U.S. side. Brownsville, doing business good as gold in Brownsville. I mean, that's us going out there and telling them our story. The Wall Street Journal. I mean, the individual with the Fed Reserve out of Dallas. This was his quote, and it's also going back and knocking on their doors and telling them who we are. Information is one of the leading publications in Europe. It's out of Denmark, and they did a spin-off of the article that came out in The Economist, and it said U.S. must choose traditional Texas or cool California, and they led with Brownsville, Texas, as a way of perhaps California looking at the way we're doing business here as well as the state of Texas, and perhaps California might be successful. So, also we were able to secure an editorial in the Inbound Logistics. It's a very respectable publication in the trade in logistics, and Eddie Campirano, the director of the Port of Brownsville, he's got that editorial coming out in the next couple of months. And we're getting Brownsville out there again. It talks about the cost savings, 26%. Talks about bringing in products through Mexico and then bringing them through rail or truck, and then eventually to the Port of Brownsville and back on the barge service. That's a 26% savings, and for those who are in the logistics industry, they'll know about Brownsville and the Port of Brownsville. And at the end of the day, it's Brownsville out there. We're getting the name on their radar screens. And then the Journal of Commerce, another very reputable trade publication, cites Brownsville extensively in their centerfold story, and that talks about the opportunities we're going to have as a result of the expansion of the Panama Canal. And then we were in Chicago a few weeks ago. We had the opportunity to interview with Reuters, and here's the article was sent via wire to all the different newspapers and magazines, and CNNmoney.com ran the article, one of several. And we're out there again, just telling people the story about Brownsville, Matamoros. We usually don't like to put an equivalency or a money value to this, because I like to say that having a favorable article written on your region, really you can't put a dollar value to it. But if you're asking me, I tabulate it more or less. If it was an advertisement. This is more or less what it would cost if you combine all of the different articles that ran. It'd be about $50,000. And according to the formula by the Ogilvy and Mather advertising firm, it roughly has 5 times the dollar value of an ad the same size, equals to about $250,000 if we were to add, if you were to ask me, okay, what's the dollar value on it? But like I said, I mean, you really can't put a money value to it when Brownsville is being mentioned in a good or not high regard at nationally or internationally. And one of the things is when we walk in and talk to some of these companies, we've had on a couple occasions, they tell us, hey, by the way, I just saw an article in such and such publication about Brownsville. I mean, that to me is kind of like, well, we've done our job, right? You know, now they know who we are. Now the rest is, you know, up to us and tell them a little bit more about our region. So with that, Jason will talk a little bit about our groundbreakings this year. Thank you.
Just to close, we'd like to talk about some of the new projects that are coming to Brownsville. Recently, GBIC approved a project for Garma. It's a Mexican-based company out of Monterrey. They're committed to create 300 jobs. They're in the telecom industry. They will be paying $10 an hour plus wages. They're establishing an office at the ITech campus. They're using Brownsville to break into the U.S. market. They have about 35% of the Mexican market. And so now they're looking at opportunities to their customers out of Mexico, U.S. customers, to expand their services into the United States. And Brownsville will be their platform launch. Also, CS Wind.
Can I ask a question real quick? Sure. On that, going back on that, it'd be established at ITech campus.
Yes, sir.
What is the story with that? Are the businesses that y'all putting in there paying taxes, or are they being waived by the university?
They are, the personal property is subject to taxes. That is correct. In terms of just like someone leasing at the Brownsville Airport, a facility, the building itself is not subject to property taxes, but the personal real property is inside, equipment, what have you.
Okay, so it is, okay.
Okay. We have a CS Wind that just had a groundbreaking on Friday. They're a major Korean manufacturer. They broke ground on their facility in Matamoros, creating 500 jobs in Brownsville and creating jobs, or excuse me, 500 jobs in Matamoros. 50 indirect jobs will be created in Brownsville because of infrastructure, logistic needs. They're going to be exporting all their products through the Port of Brownsville. Okay. T-Mobile USA continues to expand their operations. They're now at 638 jobs. They're paying well above average wages, continue providing good benefits to their employees. It's really helped us through a downturn, stable labor force. When other companies were scaling back, they're adding people. So that's really helped us through the economic downturn. Piazza is getting ready to break ground on a facility at the North Brownsville Industrial Park, creating 120 jobs. They're doing engineering work right now, and we'll be starting construction hopefully within the next month to a month and a half. Fulton 8, you're familiar with this project. They received funding from the state of Texas, also a loan from GBIC. They're having great success with their research, and they're now talking to us about adding 30 jobs to their operation because of the success they're having in the research through the algae to biofuel. Okay. To date, 1,050 jobs created in the region, basically 50-50 mix between Brownsville and Matamoros. All jobs are on par with United Brownsville Comprehensive Plan. It's helping us boost traffic at the Port of Brownsville, provide indirect jobs to suppliers, logistics, and warehousing, infusing new dollars in the community, increasing demand for local utilities, and expanding Brownsville's tax base.
Can I ask another question? United Brownsville, I'm
Yes,
sure
sir.
you're familiar with United Brownsville. We're making efforts through United Brownsville that if we do bring companies through the efforts of the city of Brownsville, that we put them at the Port of Brownsville where the city of Brownsville can regain property tax. Because right now, as it is, if we pay incentives and we bring down these companies and they're housed at the Port of Brownsville, well, everybody needs to know over there at home that we don't get anything back from property taxes or sales tax over there because the Port of Brownsville is its own entity. We don't get anything back but the hopes that we hire somebody from Brownsville. So what we've been trying to do through Imagine Brownsville is to say, okay, look, if we're going to bring down this huge company, it's going to have 200 employees, well, we want this business to be on property around the Port of Brownsville that the city of Brownsville can get the property taxes from, because that's what we can't sustain the city just on sales tax. So,
But Commissioner, you also had to look at the fact that you have more people employed, they have more discretionary income, and they're spending more money in the surrounding cities. So that increases your sales tax revenue
no,
as
I
well.
totally agree, but if the Port of Brownsville itself as an entity is not gonna help BDC or GBEC fund these projects, and then the Brownsville is burdened with providing these incentives by ourselves, then what good is it if they're not gonna partner with us just to say, oh, well, we got the land,
Well, first of all,
or we're gonna lease the land?
you gotta put things in perspective. Whoever's relocating to Brownsville, what are their needs and how can we best meet those needs? If the Port of Brownsville is supposed to be part of the United Brownsville also. So I mean, whoever can cater to whoever's coming and meets their needs, that's what we should be doing, so they're successful and creating jobs. The taxes do come in, people buy houses, buy cars, retail, restaurants, and if they can locate within the city of Brownsville, within the taxing jurisdiction, that's even better. But we can't try to fit everybody in a certain area just because we want the tax base. We gotta meet what their needs are in order for them to be successful. And the Port of Brownsville is part of the United Brownsville.
I believe you're all right.
Right?
There is direct and indirect benefits. And yes, Commissioner, we're very aware of that need. And moving forward, we're trying to do that, as you're talking about, is where we can put it in the area at the Port of Brownsville, working with the Port of Brownsville, find ways to bring it within the city if possible.
Because we have an industrial park now, right?
Right, right. So we are aware of that, and it's important. We understand that there's a need to increase property tax revenues for this city. We're very aware of that, and that's one of our goals, is to work to play a part in increasing that. And using the North Brownsville Industrial Park, or working with the port to maybe turning up a piece of land that we're developing into the city limits. See if there's a way to do trade-offs. We don't know, but we're aware of that, and we're trying to make sure that the interest of the city is protected for that. Okay. Moving forward and finishing up, for the Type A investment, we have to make sure that we continue brand the Greater Brownsville International Metroplex, and I think we're doing a good job of getting the word out. Specific projects, you have to bring projects in that can give measurable results. Okay, we have to create wealth through new jobs. We have to continue to expand the tax base. We have to generate proactive news and articles, especially in today's time, when so much negative press is on the border. We need to be proactive, getting positive information about Brownsville, about Matamoros out into the community. And we need to create and not wait for active projects. With that, I thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have.
Jason, are any of your funds set aside for small businesses? In other words, a local person, not a big company from somewhere, wanted to open a business. Are any of your funds for small job creation?
Our funds are available to any company, local, domestic, international, that creates a primary job that falls within the guidelines of Type A funds. But the one thing that GBEC looks at is that they look at companies that create 25 jobs or greater.
Okay.
But we are working with a local firm working with them to expand their business that's Brownsville owned and looking to create very good paying jobs. So it makes more sense to put money back locally in local firms than to spend money bringing outside firms in.
I want to thank you both for the reports you sent me and for working very close with the Chamber and the City of Brownsville. Doing a good job.
Thank you very much, sir.
Mayor, I have a comment and a question. First, I want to congratulate you and the BDC team for the award that was presented to you by the Secretary of State for your outstanding work and for working very closely with the state's economic development team. But I do have a question regarding more in detail the incentives process and what happens to those businesses that acquire incentives from BDC or GBIC and then fail? What happens to that money, the funding? Does a percentage come back to the organization?
First, all the projects approved are performance-based. That a firm does not get any money up front. It usually takes at least 1 year for to get their first payment. and that's only if they have met the requirements per the contract. If they said they're going to create 100 jobs, they must have those 100 jobs in place before they get those payments. If a company down the road has ceased operations or downsized by at least 25% from the previous year, GBIC has clawback provisions within their contract to go after those companies to try to receive that money back, much like the state of Texas does. Any funds that the state gives out, there's clawbacks. Any funds that we give out, we're looking at it as an investment. Any funds that we do give out, if they don't perform, then number one, we won't pay them, and number two, if any funds have been expended, then we need to work through our legal to get those funds back. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, any more questions? Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jason.
Appreciate it.
Okay, item B.
Workshop B, discussion regarding options for incentivizing economic revitalization districts.
Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners, tonight we want to do a little workshop. I know you all have shown interest on downtown revitalization. Basically, our small PowerPoint presentation will go over the districts. Ramiro will go over the presentation. He's accomplished a lot, working also with Mr. Saucy, Peter Goodman and Joe, and also Mr. Evaristo Gomez. So I think, and this is really a prelude to, hopefully on the 15th, we'll come to you with the first overlay district or entertainment district. That's going through the process right now through the Planning and Zoning Commission. And hopefully we'll come that with the first district for your approval. When you start.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm glad the BEDC went first because research proves that having a revitalized downtown actually helps attract companies down. So this is also another major issue that we have to address in order to be able to attract these companies, also retain them. This is just a quick presentation on some of the programs, some of the incentives that are out there, and what we're thinking about doing. So why revitalize? You know, the biggest thing is heritage tourism. You know, having a true urban center downtown, revitalized, having entertainment and cultural venues, and also sustainable development. We have over 500,000 square feet of living space in the downtown area that's not being used. It's completely vacant. So in order, instead of promoting sprawl, we should promote density and take advantage of this space. This is what we've been studying, and this is the way we broke it down. We have the green area, which is our entertainment district, which it includes Adams Street and Market Square. The commercial district, which is right now the commercial heart of downtown, which is Washington, Elizabeth, the Washington, Elizabeth area, and the arts district, which is Levy Street, and we thought the arts district because there's Galleria 409, and there's also the Capitol Theater. So these are just zoomed in versions. And these are some of the tools that we can use as a city to, you know, include this, to revitalize the area. The first tool that we want to propose is an entertainment district overlay. What this district overlay will do is it'll allow the entertainment venues to set up. It'll waive the conditional use permit fee. It'll also waive building permit fees. It'll establish a downtown development review board, which you know, we hope that expedites a lot of the code issues and a lot of the building issues that occur in the downtown area. The other tool is TERS district. These are some of the quick facts about TERS districts. There's 42 cities in Texas that use it. And as you see, San Antonio, Dallas, and Houston have a lot of TERS districts, and you know, obviously they're bigger. The TERS district is used to encourage investment in an area where otherwise it wouldn't happen. Many times it involves infrastructure, water, wastewater, roads. And the way these TERS districts occur is they set a base, a property tax level, and any increment above that is used to pay off bonds or, you know, financing mechanism that is floated to pay for the infrastructure investment.
Do we have any in the city now? I know we used to have one by Amigo Land or the iTech, but that one dissolved.
That has since been dissolved, yes.
There's another.
Where's that one at?
That's in the Morrison Road, Laredo Road.
Oh,
area.
right, okay.
And you know, some of the ways it can be used in the downtown area is you know, expanded sidewalks, wayfinding, which is, you know, signage, and, you know, trying to attract people down here. Parking garage, elevated parking structure, and the Riverwalk project. Chapter 380 agreements. This is a tool that's very, very encompassing, and it would need, you know, it can be used in a lot of different things. And it's a little hard to explain, but it just goes into everything, every detail of an economic development agreement. So the city can purchase land, lease land, all kinds of investments that can be done through a Chapter 380. A facade improvement program that we are currently working on funding. We applied to CDBG for $150,000 to start this program. What this would do is it would help downtown landowners with improving their facades. It would pay 50% of they would get a rebate for 50% of the cost, up to $10,000. So we hope that we get this funding and we can see some facades being improved in the downtown area.
Does that facade improvement have to be approved by the development council that you?
Yes, it has to go through the actually, it has to go through the Heritage Council. They're in charge of design standards and all kinds of other. It's just it has to go through the general process.
Ramiro, you list the possibility of the 380. Is that what it was?
380 agreement, yeah.
Now, you didn't mention 4A. Is that similar to, well, you want the city to allocate funds, but since this is going to be economic development as well, are we going to partner with 4A? I'm sorry, with Type A in some fashion?
We expect to do that, Commissioner. Retail is very limited under 4A. But what we need to do is maybe talk about development of a business improvement district, or something of that nature that's more public in nature, not specifically for retail business individuals.
Okay, thank you.
But we are planning on approaching BEDC and the 4A and trying to work with that. The revolving loan fund, which would be we've already applied for this as well through CDBG. And this would be to give low-interest loans to businesses that want to locate downtown, maybe sometimes provide some sort of gap financing. They can't really reach the level, they need something, you know, they need some additional money. The sales tax rebate, it could be used to refund, like it says, labor and materials used to remodel the buildings downtown. You know, that could be, you know, it's a small incentive, but it's something that might be possible. The public improvement district, a lot of cities have chosen to do this. This is a targeted infrastructure investment in a certain district. So you create the district, and the biggest use for a public improvement district throughout the country is marketing. The marketing of the district, the appearance of the district, keeping it clean. And as you can see, the examples include downtown DC, Los Angeles, and McAllen as well. Form-based code is also another way. The current zoning code that we have just worries about the uses and separating the uses between residential and manufacturing. The form is actually worried about more the way that the building's designed and the way it fits with the community. And that was it. So.
Yeah. What about green space? I had two questions. One was green space. There's not much green space downtown as it is. Has there been any thought to incentivizing maybe lots that are empty to be used as green spaces?
Imagine Brownsville does have a lot of green space, a lot of plazas. in it. We have yet to really look into doing that. But there is a lot of possibility for additional park space, plazas, and gathering areas.
Which leads to my second question. Is all of this in keeping with the United Brownsville Comprehensive Plan?
Yes, the general goal of United Brownsville is to revitalize downtown in general. So we feel that these tools are very important it's the first step in the process, but it's a step we have to take. And hopefully we get the funding for these programs, and the entertainment overlay will be before you 2 weeks from now, the 15th. So it's starting to set up things, and it's, like I said, it's just the first step in the process. But hopefully we can there's been a lot of investors have been attracted, and there's been a lot of interest, yeah. So.
Okay.
What I mean was mention it, at our last United Brownsville meeting, and as noted, there has been quite a bit of interest. And at the last downtown workshop that we had at the ITech, it spoke volumes of the amount of people and the types of individuals that were present, business owners and just community members that were very interested in downtown and seeing what's going on. I appreciate the work you and Ben and your staff has done to kind of focus on the revitalization efforts for this area. As you noted, with economic development and how to continue to grow our economy, our local economy in Brownsville, it'll prove very, very valuable that we're heading in the right direction. So I really appreciate the work that you all are doing. You all are moving pretty fast, which is good. And so hopefully the next couple of weeks we'll look at that proposal on the entertainment district, and hopefully we can move it forward.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any questions? Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay, we have item A, executive session.
Executive session, discussion pursuant to section 551072 of the Texas Government Code regarding a delinquent tax property struck off to Cameron County for itself and other entities from a tax resale held on November 3rd, 2009.
Mayor, I move we go into executive session.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. We'll be back hopefully in the next 15 minutes. Thank you for your patience. If you will please rise and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God,
one indivisible.
Please remain standing while we have the invocation. Pastor Greg Fish from Central Christian Church will be the invocation. Welcome to our king.
Let us pray.
Please bow your heads.
God in heaven, I ask for this meeting right now that you would help us not only to make our own plans and then ask for your blessing, but rather help everybody who has a hand in these proceedings, especially the commission, Lord, to seek your face and to seek your will above all, to get on board with what you are doing in this city and what you are planning, because we know that those plans are already blessed. And Lord, I would ask this, knowing that this is the only way that we can know for sure that we've got it right. And I pray this in your name, in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Fish. Please be seated. Item A,
Consideration and action to adopt resolution number 2010-040, approving various bids received from the tax resale held on November 3rd, 2009 on the following property: 0.144 acre, more or less, being a portion of Block 47, Acacia Lake Garden Subdivision, Cameron County, Texas, as described in deed dated November 1976, from Apollonia Coronado to Alberto Coronado in volume 1132, page 850, deed of records of Cameron County, Texas.
Mayor, I would move that Linebarger Gogan, our representative, move as instructed to an executive session.
Second.
we have a motion, a second for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Mayor's report. We had the Hurricane Fair, which was well-attended and sponsored. I want to thank Jeff Johnston, where are you? Sigfredo Cantu, there. And of course, everybody that participated, staff, directors, sponsors. It was a huge success. It was well-attended, and I think it raises awareness. It also brings to mind that we're coming into the heat wave time of year, and our elderly need to take special note of that. Make sure that you are aware of your parents, your elderly, to make sure they stay hydrated, make sure they stay cool, and we encourage everyone to stay safe during this time of year where deaths do occur. And the same thing for pets. Make sure they stay hydrated, make sure they have shade, and make sure they have water. So we encourage all to be prepared for the heat waves that we'll be having. It's getting hot and hotter and hotter every day. I asked for a meeting with PUB. There's some people going around promoting that they can save you energy if you buy a box to your meter. And it was brought to my attention. I brought it to the attention of PUB. And no meter box that you buy is going to save you money. I know there's a lot of people who would like to save money, but it all depends on you and how much energy you save by being conservative. The type of light bulbs you have inside your house, your thermostat setting, your insulation, that's how you save money, not by buying a box. So be careful if anybody's trying to sell you a box. They call it a meter. It will help the meter slow down. Nothing will slow down the meter unless you conserve energy. So be aware of that. And I had the meeting with PUB and the interested parties who are looking to buying these meter boxes. And hopefully people don't fall for that. It's a scam as far as I'm concerned. I got a report. I always get reports of inhumane treatment of animals. Normally it's usually pets, household pets like dogs or cats. I was in Victoria meeting with the governor, and I got a call on a complaint of horses on Robindale and Central. The horses were so malnourished to one of their eye was falling out. There's no call for that, none whatsoever. We're human beings, and we should be compassionate enough to understand that any living creature deserves the respect and attention that they depend on us for. Apparently, the county was not moving on the complaint. I want to thank Art Rodriguez for bringing it to the attention of the county and getting them to respond immediately. And they seized the horses, and Dr. Crouch was attending to them. But any complaint that comes to me, I assure you, I will, whether PD or the county ignores it, I will stay on top of it until it's followed through and the laws are enforced, because it's uncalled for and nobody should allow that to happen. Attended to Galleria 409, support of the art world and the culture there, music. They had their last gathering there. Hopefully they'll reopen and continue promoting the arts. Ringo Park, a resident reported a huge pothole going to Ringo Park. Santana Torres went over there and took care of it right away. These complaints that come to me, staff, I depend on staff to make sure that they're looked out after in Santana Torres. Thank you for taking care of that for that citizen. We're looking into grants for Second Chance. This is a new program where some churches are getting together with the city to try to give some guidance to people that are coming out of jail that have no work, no place to stay. Their families are divided or split up. And Pastor Brad Burke here, thank you for bringing that to my attention. We're looking to get some grants to allow these people a second chance with employment and a place to stay. We also dedicated some time back a piece of land by PUB and named it the John Glore Park. We're going to get started on that. Where's Chris Patterson? Chris Patterson, we're on schedule on that, right? Right. It's a beautiful park on the Resaca right there by Blue Dolphin. It's going to be called the John Glore Park. We're looking to put some equipment there for the people to use from the neighborhood. Memorial Day was a very special day. Some of us were able to attend and hear from the city. It's a time to come together and commemorate and remember those who have fallen on our behalf to defend our country and our democracy and promote democracy, and to all the men and women who served in the military and their families for their support that they give to their husbands and wives who are in service. It was a great event. A lot of people attended. Unfortunately, there was a little incident I'm going to point out to you, and I'm going to point it out to you because I think it says something, and it's important that we start looking at ourselves as a community. I started my day by going to VFW to give a speech. There was the veterans there. I went in slacks and a dress shirt and a sports coat. After there was the silent march going towards the Veterans Park. I went home, I changed, because I was going to ride. I'm a motorcycle rider, and I was going to get with some friends and go riding after the silent march. Not thinking anything of it, I picked up this shirt, put it on, black shirt, given to me by the mayor of Reynosa. It says Mayor Palomar. I put the shirt on
What
without
does it say in
even
the back, Mayor?
thinking twice.
Oh, Reynosa, Matamoros.
And black jeans and my boots. And I went to the silent march. Well attended. I think I gave a great speech. I think you could hear a pin drop when I was speaking. And the response I got was very positive from the speech. Unfortunately, you always have somebody that's negative. And that's what hurts our city. They noted this flag here. They made a big deal of it. Very insignificant. It's a patch of the Mexican flag. I'm very proud to be a Mexican American. Very proud of that, my heritage. We should all be proud of our heritage. And I was criticized for it, and it had to be a Mexican descendant, Mexican American, that brought it to my attention that said I was dishonoring the event. There was no dishonoring the event. I'm just as patriot as anybody else. And then another veteran told me, he's wrong, because you don't have it on your right side. You can wear it on your left side. That's not dishonoring. So I was wearing a patch. But anyway, they made it a point to, I even got interviewed over this insignificant thing. It just shows the pettiness. If we as a community would channel that energy into something positive, we'd get more done. Instead of focusing on what I wear or what I don't wear. It's just pure pettiness, cowardly. Some people have nothing better to do. I wish they would join us in trying to build a better Brownsville instead of focusing on what I wear or don't wear. And let me point out to the audience that are watching this, we should be very proud of Mexico being our neighbor. They're our ally. In case of war, they've been our ally. The famous Squadron 201 served in the World War II alongside the Allied forces. And today, we have Mexican citizens serving in Iraq and Afghanistan, Mexican citizens. And in case of war, Mexico's always there for us. So there's nothing to be apologetic about. There's nothing to be ashamed about over a little patch. I just want to point that out because it does hurt. It does hurt when people use their energies to undermine or just hurt our city, thinking they're doing something. I don't know what, you know, they could find, but they could get a life, I guess. So anyway, I wanted to point that out because I did have questions and I did get interviewed over it, and I thought that was very unfortunate. That concludes, I'm going to Washington again for the third time in trying to bring Mexican customs and immigration to our airport. So I'll be leaving this week, I think, to Washington to do that. And based on that, that's my report. And next is the commissioner's report. We have Commissioner Charlie Atkinson.
Just real quick, I did attend that Veterans Day Park celebration. It was very nice. It was attended by close to 400 people. And you know, Mayor, though you say people are trying to undermine you or they're cowardly,
please address it.
Okay, I'm addressing it.
Don't attack me,
I think the veterans who are in uniform who approached the mayor had every right to be a little upset because he is the representative of our city, especially during a day where we're remembering the heroes, the people that have died for this country, the American soldiers, and a lot of them Mexican Americans that have served well in our military, who have died for us being able to be here. I don't think it's pettiness or cowardly to come up to the mayor and ask him to remove his shirt because nothing on the mayor had anything patriotic about being an American. Everything was about Mexico. And as a leader of our city, I think he made a poor judgment wearing that shirt. I mean, I'm sure he didn't mean it, but still, that was the anger. And yes, the media should have focused on the celebration instead of what the mayor was wearing. But to say people were cowardly and undermining because a lot of people, their families died in war, so it affected them on what our number one leader of this community is wearing. Yes, it did bother him, and had every right to bother him. But should that have overshadowed the great event? No. The media took it to another level, which they shouldn't have. But it's justified for a 60-year-old veteran to come up to the mayor and say, hey, what are you doing? You're disrespecting the people here, the brothers that I've had that died for this country, to be wearing anything other than an American flag, to show support for our troops and our military. So I want to stop with that because that's water on the bridge. But as far as the sports part, our board, the BCIC board, has done a lot to try to bring stuff to Brownsville, amenities. If y'all know, if you go out there, our beach sports code is a hit. We have people there every night. There's a lot of people playing volleyball. It's contributing to Commissioner Gowan's quest for a healthier community. We have a lot of people out there, and they're all walking, and it's a good thing. I think this summer's going to be, the sports park's going to be the place to be this summer for anybody who likes to be outdoors. And with that, I'll go to another issue that's been coming up before our board, and a lot of people have been complaining about the unleashed dogs at the sports park. Well, our board, the BCIC board, we passed, because the BCIC owns the land at the sports park. We passed unanimously that dogs were not allowed at the sports park. You know, right now you have a mile away from the sports park, you have the dog park. And then if you all know, if you drive to the sports park, might as well take that extra mile to go to this dog park. State of the art, it was paid by your taxes and it's a state-of-the-art dog park where dogs have obstacle courses, everything. It's like 3 or 4 acres out there where these dogs can run around and play around. What we didn't want to see at the sports park is there's a lot of, the few people that really know how to take care of a park where they take their pooper scoopers and they keep their dog on a leash, those people have to bear the burden of putting up with the many hundreds of other people that don't do that, that leave their dogs are dropping all over the trail. I've seen dogs on the beach cove already in the sand, peeing in there. It's just not right for the sports park. And BCIC passed something unanimous to make sure we followed the rules, and the rules are that we didn't allow pets in there. Why? Because just a mile away, you have a state-of-the-art dog park. And you have people visiting from outside our community to see the beautiful sports park that we have. And for people to walk around or to play on a field turf area where there's dog droppings, it's just unacceptable. So, you know, we have to protect the sports park, and BCIC, my board, is doing that. We're protecting that park because, you know, we have a linear park that stretches from one side of Brownsville all the way to 511, and they can walk their dogs on there as much as they want. I have nothing against dogs. I have 2 dogs myself. If I choose to walk my dogs, I walk them around my house, or I'll take them to the dog park, which is 1 mile away. And I'm going to be heading north to the sports park anyway. So those are some of the calls I've gotten is, hey, protect the kids and the families that are out there that, you know, not that they don't like dogs, but they don't need to be frightened or scared by pets out there, or be putting up with areas that have droppings where people themselves have to pick up the dog droppings of other people because they don't want to leash their dogs and they don't want to pick up after their dogs. And this is a diamond in the rough, this sports park, and people from all over the valley come and spend time there. So, you know, that's another issue. Eddie Lucio III's office has been working with the BCIC. They're getting us the signage that we need for the expressway so I can say the Brownsville Sports Park. I know there's been some issues like, where's the park? You know, it's Merriman Road right now as the exit, but we're changing that. And Eddie Lucio, State Representative Eddie Lucio III is committed to getting those signs. It's because you get them through TxDOT, through Austin. So that's my update for the sports park.
Commissioner Gowan?
Hold on real quick. Let me add one more thing, which Commissioner someone was gladly to let me be talking about it, which is the Special Needs Accessible Playground. We're dedicating that Wednesday, June 2nd, 2010. The playground equipment out there is 80% ADA. It's for special needs kids. We want our park at the sports park to be real friendly with the special needs community because there's a big call for that out there. So the next few playgrounds we put out there will be ADA special needs approved for type playgrounds that will allow them to participate at our sports park, and that's June 2nd, 2010. So if anybody's interested in going out there, it'll really mean a lot to, it's down by the border, right? 5:30 Wednesday at June 2nd, 5:30 at the sports park. Thank you.
Commissioner Gowan?
Thank you. I believe there's a cap
Commissioner, I think you're up here in front.
Well, can you come up there, David?
Okay.
Jeff?
The last weekend, the Brownsville Farmers Market, which we all remember is a collaborative effort between the City of Brownsville, the Parks and Rec Department, the Department of Health in Brownsville, Su Clínica Familiar, and the University of Texas School of Public Health, closed its second season. And if you still enjoy farmers markets, I would encourage you to attend the sister market, which is in South Padre Island, which is open every Sunday through the summer for the same fresh fruits and vegetables in a certified way. The exciting thing is that, as I mentioned last meeting, the Brownsville Farmers Market was awarded a Medal of Excellence, the award that you see down here, by the United States Border Health Commission for its efforts in reducing obesity. It was one of only 2 awards that were awarded for, from this commission. And Art, our City Health Department Director, as well as Dr. Reiniger and Cheryl Sproles from the Su Clínica Familiar, went to San Diego to accept the award. There were many people and dignitaries from the states in Mexico, Coahuila, I don't remember the other ones, Art, Tamaulipas, and other Mexican states, as well as the United States, that were there to discuss the excellence in the way that it was developed and run. Our name will be placed in a compendium of, how would you describe that, Art? Models of excellence that other communities in the country can look at and call us to find out how we did it. And in fact, Art has already received phone calls because of that report. So much thanks to the City Health Department and Parks and Rec Department and all the other entities involved, and hope to see you in the 3rd season coming up.
Thank you, Dr. Gowan. Commissioner Camarillo.
I'm gonna pass, Mayor.
You'll pass, okay.
Yes.
We have proclamations. U11 Brownsville United Girls Soccer Team.
All right, guys, you have everybody situated. Congratulations, ladies, on a job well done representing Brownsville, and we are very proud of you. So I'm going to read this proclamation. It's a proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, congratulating the U11, which is under 11, Brownsville United Girls Soccer Team on its state championship season. One more time. What was it? State championships, baby. You got to be happy about that. Whereas the U11 Brownsville United Girls Soccer Team went undefeated in a 15-game schedule, winning 15 and tying 1 for a 14-0-1 season record. And whereas in complying its championship season, the U11 Brownsville United Girls Soccer Team scored 54 goals and allowed only 7 by the opposition. Want to clap for that? And whereas the U11 Brownsville United Girls Soccer Team began the season with a 7-game schedule and went undefeated against teams from Harlingen, Los Fresnos, McAllen, and Brownsville, outscoring the opposition 33-1. And whereas on May 7th through the 8th, 2010, the only girls team invited to participate, played in the district tournament in San Antonio, winning all 5 of its games while outscoring the opposition 12-1, including a 2-hour match. That's impressive. Including a 2-hour match against Austin Academy, winning in the final 10 seconds of overtime. And whereas advancing to the Directors' Cup in Houston on May 14th through the 15th, 2010, the U11 Brownsville United Girls Soccer Team played 3 games in a 4-hour span, going 2-0-1, outscoring the opposition 9-5, and in doing so, winning the state championship. And whereas team members include Jordan Rudd, captain, Ceci de la Garza, Catherine Bowden, Samantha Bowden, Vivi Ariola, Tanya Prazzolini, Cassie Valdez, Victoria Morales, Uritzi Elizondo, Stephanie Bender, Priscilla Cortinas, and Aris Muskis. Coached by head coach Guillermo Dorantes and assistants Joseph Bender and Michael Rudd. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the charter of said city, and on behalf of all our citizens, do hereby congratulate the U11 Brownsville United Girls Soccer Team on its state championship season, and further congratulates the coaches and parents who gave their time and energy to this most worthwhile endeavor. Done on this day, the first day of June 2010, signed by Mayor Pat Ahumada and the rest of the City Commission. Congratulations.
Just thank you Guillermo, thank you Coach Joe, and thank you Dad, and all of my teammates for being so awesome and friendly, and thank you.
Well, I honestly feel so proud of all of you. And like always, I want to thank the parents for all the support. And I don't have any words to thank you, all your effort, because I know you really work hard. And sometimes I know I'm too pushy and too strict, but it's worth it. Okay?
Enough.
So if you feel like you're getting too oh man, I don't want to do this because he's pushing me too much, no, you're getting there because you're getting better. Okay? So just thank you everybody, and thank you girls.
William, is this the same proclamation you asked me to put up? Yes, sir. Okay. I was wondering why it wasn't up. Okay, it's the same one. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Okay, Employee of the Month presentation.
Mayor, members of the commission, please help me welcome Employee of the Month for June, Leonel Saldivar. Leonel is assigned to the Public Works Department, and we hired him about 3 or 4 years ago. Basically, his responsibilities is to upgrade and maintain our pumping system, whether it's the Impala pump system, all our drains and things like that. He troubleshoots this when we are expecting some kind of a storm, issues with rain or things like that. He's always there available to go and assure that we have all our systems ready and ready to go. Checking our drains, making sure that our pump system is operable, that it's going to turn on, that it's going to work. As Commissioner Longoria knows, living so close to the Impala pumps, he gets to meet all these people and actually at times attend the visits to the pumps to assure that they're working properly and things like that. It's very vital to us to assure we don't flood. I think even Mr. Oreste came by last week and praised the fact that his area didn't flood. I think that we've been very successful in maintaining drainage, maintaining the system, and it's thanks to him, because we can call him 3, 4 in the morning and he's out there. A very reliable person, and we thought that we needed to bestow the fact that he does this for us on a regular basis. We've had a lot of compliments that when we've had the recent rain we have had the ability to drain pretty quick and not flood properties and homes. So we're very grateful to him. And for that reason, he is offered the Employee of the Month for June, Leonel Saldivar, in recognition for outstanding services rendered to the city of Brownsville. And I dropped his hat, and I think this is very similar to the hat he wears, so we need to upgrade it. The Employee of the Month pin. And of course, he's eligible for the Employee of the Year at our banquet in December. And may I add now that we're going to redo the awards that we give to the Employee of the Month. We're going to hopefully start next month and retroactive back to the employees that we've had this fiscal year, and offering a more sincere gift, watches for men and women, and also redo the plaque and things like that. So we'll present that to you. Leonel will reserve his comments for this.
Thank you. Okay, American Recovery and Reinvestment Act grant status, Ben Medina.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Stephanie Garza. This is John Rodriguez, and we're going to give you a brief update of what we've been doing over the past 9 months since we came on board. So we'll start off here. This is basically a list. Within the last 9 months, we've submitted over 15 grants. We've been awarded 4. We've submitted 15, like I said, and we have 1 large one pending. There's a lot that we're pending notification for, so it may all be great news. But just a list here, the ones that are highlighted are the ones we have been awarded for a grand total of a little below $24 million. These are the ones we've been awarded, which total $435,000. Project Greenlight is a really great one with the help of Robert Esparza with traffic. This one is from the Texas Comptroller's Office. We're going to replace 20 traffic signal light intersections with LED lighting in an effort for the city to go green, so that's a great thing. We're going to focus on Boca Chica Boulevard, International Boulevard, and Padre Island Boulevard. Those are the busiest, of course. And this is great because we're going to reduce the average monthly energy bill by $2,110 with an annual savings of over $25,000. Right now, with the conventional lights we have, we pay $2,840 for the 20 intersections. With the LED, they'll change to $730, so we'll be saving some big bucks there, so that's good. The Champions for Change, this is probably one of my favorite grants that we've been awarded. It's a smaller one, but it goes a long way. And this one is from the General Mills Foundation. Really proud to say that there was 1,000 applications and 50 were awarded, and Brownsville was one of them. So we're really proud about that. And what this program does is we're working with the local charter schools, Harmony, Science Academy, Idea, Frontier, Century, so School of Success, and Raul Izaguirre. And what we're going to do is we're going to implement a nutrition and active learning curriculum within the school. So kids will be learning about healthy foods, how to prepare healthy foods, and they'll have what we're calling active academics. So there'll be 10-minute intervals twice a day where they'll learn a lesson, but they'll be active about it. They'll be doing something physical. So this is great. And in addition to this, there's a really neat element to it. There'll be an after-school program where this focuses on children 5 to 12. So there'll be an after-school program where they learn how to prepare healthy meals, and at the end of the year, they'll have a healthy meals cook-off where they're wearing the chef uniform, and it's really cute. And they'll have 15, 20 minutes to prepare their meal, and they won't be judged on its taste, of course. They'll be judged on why they chose those ingredients and what they've learned so far. So that's a really cute, and we're very proud of that one. The others that we've been awarded, the Summer Art Camp, this is with the Brownsville Museum of Fine Arts. This is also another smaller one, which will lead to a larger one that we're submitting in another application. But this is to carry on with their Summer Art Camp. And with the $5,000, they'll be able to fund 60 summer camp tuitions, which are $80 a piece, and the art fair and exhibition, and this will take care of administration fees and art supplies. The Free Play Garden is a really, really neat one. That was a collaboration with UTHCA and Parks and Rec, and this one's to fight obesity. We're very proud of this one as well. Community-based obesity prevention program. What we're going to do is we're going to revitalize the vacant lot behind the old Boys and Girls Club, which is the Parks and Rec building now, in the Buena Vida neighborhood. And right there in the middle, that's the vacant lot, and in the middle is what we're going to put. That playscape is really, really neat, and will keep kids physically active. And we're going to add rock climbing. That's really cool too.
Stephanie, I'm sorry to interrupt. That is set to start any time now,
yes.
right? And
yeah.
should be completed, I don't know what happened to Chris, soon.
Soon. And
April? Okay. And it's UT School of Public Health.
Yes. And a big thing that I would like to stress is right now Parks and Rec doesn't have very many programs that have a measurable outcome, or we can't really evaluate. This is one that's going to be great because we're going to have volunteers come and they're going to go and survey surrounding areas, the families, and pretty much we're going to ask how physically active are your children now, and after we're going to do post surveys to see how effective this was. And this will be great because this will give us the opportunity to apply for future grant opportunities and have the numbers to put in there. John will take care of the ones that are pending notification.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners and fellow committee members. We're pending notification on a few grants, including Connect Brownsville, which would basically provide expanded Wi-Fi throughout the city, working with the University of Texas at Brownsville, the Brownsville Literacy Center, and United Way. Empowered Change through the Cities to Service Coalition, which includes the Rockefeller Foundation. Basically, this would assist the city creating a database of volunteer services throughout the various entities, and that way we can really focus on improving the city of Brownsville through various efforts. We also have pending Kids on Track through the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Program. We're working with municipal court on that. And that would target juvenile gang participation. We are working closely with the school district. We also have the Livability Initiative Program through the Department of Transportation.
This one right here is a really neat one. The Pepsi Refresh Project, and you may have seen some commercials because this is a national deal, and it started this year, and this one's really neat because Pepsi has nothing to do with who gets this money. Everyone gets to vote, and so we as a city can get the word out to vote for our particular project that we're proposing. There's 1.3 million awarded each month. There's 32 winners per month. Voters pick the best project, and you get to vote once a day for a month. And these are the different categories of what you can apply for. And there's a different variety. You can do health, education. So we've got a couple lined up that we do want to submit. And when we do that, we would like your help and the rest of the city to get the word out because it's us who decide. We get to decide who gets it. The grants in preparation, these are grants that we are looking into now. We're still in the strategizing phase. We've made a couple of phone calls, had a couple of meetings. They look promising, but we're still narrowing down whether we're going to go through with them. The Tiger 2, the notice just came out today, but this is a multi-agency project between HUD, the Department of Transportation, and it's not multimodal, intermodal project, and we would like to coordinate with other entities within the city. One portion of that is a runway extension at the airport, which would extend it from 7,400 feet to 10,000 feet. Partners for post-secondary success, we are looking to partner with United Way. It's still in the works. We just listened and watched this webinar to see how this would benefit the city, and so we'll narrow that down here in the future. Sustainable communities. Nowadays, with grants, they're looking for collaborations, not only with other entities within your city, but within your region. That Tiger 2, they want a collaboration within the state of Texas and how it's going to benefit the nation. So they're getting larger. But the sustainable communities is HUD, DOT, and EPA, and up in the air. We're still thinking about it, but possibly working with the rest of the valley for a GIS plan. And the supporting diverse spaces is a really neat one too, because if you look in the corner, that's the Stegman building. And we need to do something with that, and this is the perfect thing that I think we should do with it. The Ford Foundation has a request for proposals, and we want to rehab and renovate the Stegman building and make affordable housing for aspiring artists and performing arts space. So we could utilize the top floor for any performing artist. It's affordable housing for them, and then we can make art studios, performing art studios beneath there, which would be really, really neat. And it will be replicating something that's similar to New York. Really, really neat. So we hope to get that one going. Our grant priorities, of course, they're all part of the Imagine Brownsville comprehensive plan. We try to address each of these issues with opportunities that we find daily. We've got a lot of different ways that we receive alerts on what's available, what opportunities are available, and so we try to address those, prioritize, and eventually we want to hit each and every single one. But we've hit quite a few, so we're on our way. And the fiscal year 2011 appropriations, what John and I do is we're the federal liaison to departments requesting funding. So this year, this is what we submitted with the help of all the other departments, and we'll do this each time. John will take care of the federal reporting.
In respect to the RF funds, we have to report on a quarterly basis. We have been reporting on the methane collection system for the landfill, the West Side Drainage Project, the weatherization program, and the LED traffic signal lights project. As grant writer Stephanie and I, we are working hard to centralize grant management throughout the city. We would be working on the various grants that the entire city has. We are starting to get calls from different agencies, departments, asking us information on XYZ grant, and hopefully we can get to the point where we can lead them to the correct entity, the correct person that has more information on that grant. We're looking at conducting monthly meetings with all the grant writers or individuals throughout the city that do write grants or are looking to write grants. Of course, that's how we can be contacted. And last but not least, we are working on a grant consortium. We are working with BISD, with the Cameron County, various nonprofits, and the Southwest Nonprofit Border Resource Center at UT Pan Am. And what our goal is to gather everybody within the city, within the community actually, that works with grants, so we can get to the point where if we see a grant proposal, we can just pick up the phone and contact the person that we need to contact and get working on it immediately, instead of contacting various people trying to get to that person that does work with that grant or can write the grant days later. We're having our first or tentative June 22nd, which is a Tuesday morning from 8 to 12 at the Brownsville Event Center.
We'd also like to add there are some stimulus funds that we received, and we have an update for you, and Rolando Salas can take care of that.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. We have one of the grants is HPRP grant. We received 2 allocations, one from the state, which is the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs, and the other one was directly from HUD. The state one, The homeless prevention, the HPRP stands for Homelessness Prevention and Rapid Rehousing. And the grant source is the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. And we received $1 million from the state and 1.3 directly from HUD, so that's total 2.3 million. And that's the grant that, those grants are just going through my desk right now. And what this grant does, it provides financial assistance and services to prevent individuals and families that are either at risk of becoming homeless because of the current economic situation or are homeless now. And we're trying to rehouse them quickly and helping them through case management that they become stable and self-sufficient. And some of the assistances are short-term and medium-term rental assistance, credit counseling, security and utility deposits, utility payments, even some moving costs, and of course some case management. This program, though, is not a mortgage assistance program. These HPRP funds are distributed by a set of agencies that we've allocated them. We're funding nonprofits, and on the flyers that John passed out, these agencies that we entered with service agreements with are Catholic Charities of the Rio Grande Valley, Good Neighbor Settlement House, Ozanam Center, Valley AIDS Council, and Consumer Credit Counseling. And they're helping the city distribute these funds. And the update real quick is we spent a little bit over $250,000 already out of the 2.3 million. And that's helped 293 households and 743 people either stay housed, or we are seeing that the majority of the people we're preventing from them being homeless. A lot of people have either from their employer have less hours or maybe just completely been laid off. So this program helps them for those couple of months just to get back on their feet. So I just want to put up, the word that we do have these funds available, and these are the agencies that they can go to so that they can, and the case managers will make the determination there. Of course, we do have other series of eligibility requirements, and the case managers there will do their work. So that's the update.
Mayor, just in closing.
Go ahead, Ben.
Just in closing, the grant writers and staff have done an excellent job. One of the hardest things is now people know that they're at the city, so their time is being requested from other nonprofits. We try to help as much people as possible, but of course, some of our city projects come first. So thank you for the opportunity to have them here.
I'd like to commend you for your work, Stephanie and John and staff. You've not quite been here a year, right? Not quite a year, and you've obviously been very busy and very successful in that time, and if there's anything that we can do as a commission to help you, please let us know. One thing I would say is that when you do submit a grant, please let us know that you've submitted it, and maybe we can help lobby in the behalf of the grant, at the very least contacting our representatives on the state and federal level to let them know that we've done so. And finally, I hope very much that you'll be very involved in the legislative summit that is being planned for the United Brownsville effort in August.
Mayor, may I make a comment? Stephanie, John, you guys, I just want to commend both of you because I know we've seen each other many different times, either late at night when I thought I was the only one working, but you all were on the weekends, on Sunday mornings, trying to finish up grants. It says a lot, Ben and Charlie, what they do, and I'm sure what the rest of the staff does, but I personally saw them working very, very hard on weeknights and weekends when, that's really not, where they're really not paid for that. And so thank you so much for giving up your time to be with your families and your own personal time to help the city of Brownsville. I think it goes without said that, grant writing all along was the thing for the city, and what a difference it would make to have grant writers to focus on other grants, not just the ones that our departments have worked on, but additional things that are just outside that realm, and you've kind of pointed that out. I don't think we would have gotten the nearly $24 million had it not been for you all. And I know that's part due because of the monies we received from the federal government. And so I hope that this will continue and that your area becomes an official department because it is so badly needed within the city of Brownsville. And I know many of us have pushed for that, and I can't stress that enough, what the city needs to do to ensure that you guys continue to stay and that we have a full-fledged grant writing department for the city. I also want to commend you on the grant consortium that you're going to have, and I would add that part of that not just be the networking aspect of grant writing, but to include, if possible, grant writing seminars. One of the things that I hear from many folks is, you know, where can I get a class on grant writing? And as you know, we have quite a bit of nonprofits, not just in Brownsville, but in the Lower Rio Grande Valley. And many of them look at TANA, which is the Texas Association of Nonprofits, and they do quite a bit of extensive research and work on their websites. But it'd be great to try to do, if not on an annual basis, biannual basis, grant writing workshops for the public, because that would help many of them write their own grants, and like I said, hopefully get awarded. And again, everyone will be successful. So, but I want to commend you guys on the hard work. Roland, you're doing a great job, because again, it's noted, it's seen, and I appreciate you all when you call us to provide info on a grant. It really says a lot that you'd call us to say, I need some help, and so I appreciate that. Bless you. Bless you. And our phone lines are always open, so continue to call. Thank you, guys.
Let me just add one more thing. This consortium that we're having will have some workshop built into it. It's a short one. It's from 8 to 12, but it's one of two that we want to have, and we want to invite everyone, even from the county, to come in for that second full day one with more workshops. And we'll invite everyone, and we'll get more information out about that one.
And one more thing on that, what I failed to mention, the ultimate goal is to have department heads, DOT, DOE, Department of Commerce come down to Brownsville instead of us having to go to Washington or Houston, and have all the nonprofits, all the community entities here so they can talk to us directly and, again, better understand our needs.
Great work.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it, thank you. Item 5,
Consent agenda items, items A through I.
Move to approve. Second.
we have motion to approve and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 6,
Consideration and action to appoint or reappoint one member to the Brownsville Public Utilities Board.
Mayor, I'd like to appoint Mr. Oscar Garcia Jr. to fill the spot for Mr. Robert Del Guerra.
Second.
we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Mayor, and if I just will make a comment, if you'd allow me to make a comment, I'd like to thank Mr. Guerra for his years of service to the PUB board and to the city of Brownsville. I really do appreciate his leadership and all the work that he has put in over the past couple of years to serve PUB and ultimately the city of Brownsville.
Well noted. Item 7, there's no public comments, is that right?
No public comments.
The first, I think it's the first time.
Item 8.
No, there's a request to move item 9, if I can have a motion to move item 9 before item 8.
So moved.
We have a motion by Commissioner Camarillo, can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Zamora, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Read item 9, please.
Item 9, consideration and action on resolution number 2010-039 to approve the execution of a project reimbursement agreement with the Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation relating to financing improvements at the Brownsville Sports Park.
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Commission, this resolution authorizes for us to issue some certificates of obligation, approximately $3,130,000 for the sports parks, with the understanding that the BCIC will pay the entire debt service, which includes principal and interest when the CO is issued. And the capital projects for this particular CO would be bleachers, about $916,000. You have buildings, all related to the sports park, and beach sports golf buildings. Approximately right now, we have a number of about $3,130,000. But in the immediate future, we'll be asking you to issue a certificate of obligation that includes this particular amount for the sports park. The BCIC board has already approved the reimbursement resolution. So all we're asking for you tonight is to approve this particular resolution.
Okay, this is an action item.
I move to approve.
Second. Motion approved, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 8, please.
Item 8, consideration and action on resolution number 2010-032, expressing official intent to reimburse costs incurred to make improvements to the City of Brownsville Sports Park.
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Commission, obviously it takes a while before the certificates of obligation are issued, but we want to start some of these projects ahead before the CO is issued. So this authorizes us that as soon as the proceeds of the CO are received, we can go ahead and reimburse the general fund. And that's all this is. So again, we ask that you approve this resolution.
Would approve?
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 10,
Consideration and action regarding Long and Shelton's auditing professional services contract on 2 additional fiscal years ending fiscal years 2010 and 2011.
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Commission, when we went out for proposals 3 years ago, one of the items included that the contract may be extended for an additional 2 years at the option of the city. We're asking the city to go ahead and extend the contract to Long Shelton for the next 2 years. I have talked to some of the audit committee members. They all were positive, indicating that they would recommend that we extend the contract for 2 more years.
this is an action item.
Would approve?
Motion approved, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 11,
Consideration and action to approve amendment number 2 to advance funding agreement between the State of Texas acting through the Texas Department of Transportation and the City of Brownsville for the East Morrison Road project.
Members, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Commission, this is our portion, and they're asking for an advance payment, and this is for the East Morrison Road. The packet that you have indicates an amount of $1,656,920.93. That number has been revised downward by about $129,000. The new number that we need to, amount that we need to advance to the state is $1,527,752.39.
move to approve. We have a motion. We have a second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 12,
Consideration and action to authorize Mayor Patricio Ahumada Jr. to apply for the 2010 Edward Bryan Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Program and respectively set an interlocal cooperative agreement between the City of Brownsville, Texas and Cameron County for application number 2010 H5552-TX-DJ in the amount of $116,952.
Mayor, members of the City Commission, good evening. Seeking authorization for the mayor to accept this interlocal cooperative agreement between the county, Cameron, and the City of Brownsville for this grant that was awarded to the City of Brownsville in the amount of $116,952. This is a disparate allocation in which both cities, the city and the county, have to agree to the amounts that we will receive, not to exceed the amount of $116,952. The initial amounts that were formula-based that were awarded was $88,513 for the City of Brownsville and $28,439 for the County of Cameron. Between myself and Mr. Pizza Fuda, we came to an agreement that the allocation would be $40,000 for Cameron County and $76,952 for the City of Brownsville.
Would you approve?
Second.
motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
And at a future date, we'll come back before the City Commission for a public hearing, advising the Commission how we wish to spend the money. For the most part, it will be probably police equipment. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, could I have a motion to move item 17 up? There's no sense holding the gentleman here. I'm sure he's got business to do.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Moving up, item 17, please read it.
Consideration and action to award a contract for consultant services to represent the City of Brownsville in Washington, D.C.
Good evening, Mayor, City Commissioners. For this particular item, let me just read what I have in here. It is intent of the City of Brownsville to contract with a consulting firm to provide consulting representation services for the City of Brownsville before the U.S. Congress and national agencies. The consulting firm shall prepare letters and testimonies and make appointments, monitor legislative and executive activities, and communicate effectively with the City of Brownsville and its delegation and their staff, as well as groups who share specific interests with the City of Brownsville. In addition, consulting firms shall assist in identifying grants and assist in the preparation of such materials.
Okay.
The recommendation is to award a contract for consulting services to represent the City of Brownsville in Washington, D.C. to Dallas Logistics Incorporated of Westlake, Texas, for a monthly fixed retainer of $7,000, which includes direct expenses based on an hourly rate for 40 hours per month. This contract shall commence upon award by City Commission for representation through the end of fiscal year 2011, which ends on September 30th, 2011. Legislative sessions and special sessions required to conduct the regular annual businesses of the Congress and national agencies. The city reserves a unilateral option to extend the life of the contract for 2 periods of 1 year each thereafter, if mutually acceptable to the firm and the City of Brownsville, for the same fixed amount. Following the, also in this agreement, the city and the contractor and the firm might terminate this agreement with or without cause within 30 days prior to a written notice. Now, following the implementation, should the city manager find that the firm has failed, if any material respect to perform its agreed upon obligation under this agreement, the agreement shall be canceled by the city as being in the best interest of the City of Brownsville. Now, funding for these services will be derived from the general fund.
Okay, City Attorney, you okay with this?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, can I have a motion to
So
approve?
moved. Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Back to item 13.
Item 13, presentation and discussion of a report by Ecological Services and Disposition Incorporated.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Well, we came to give you a little bit update on the recycling center, how far we've been improving the center. On the beginning, when we take the
I think it
control.
would be a good idea, City Manager, if we remove that from there and put that on the table. That way people can see it. The camera can see it, so the citizens that are watching at home know it can be recycled.
Yeah, that is very important to say thank you to the public, to the community, that now the city, the whole community is catching on recycling. When we, on the beginning, when we start to operate the recycling center, the center was kind of empty. It was one baler to bale cardboard, and it was outside doors. You can see how the recycling center used to look like. That was the recycling center for the city of Brownsville. Not even 1 month, 2 months later, we improve and we invest. Right now, we operate the center with probably about 6 balers, inside balers, and we are baling newspaper, plastic bottles, plastic containers. But we not only that, we are grinding also, and we are making pellets. Those bottles, instead going to the landfill, we are making pellets, and if those goes to the landfill, it will stay there between 500 to 1 million years on the landfill. We're reducing a lot of pollution, a lot of contamination into pellets. Those yellow, it was bags from H-E-B, from Walmart.
Bless you.
those are grocery plastic bags. Those blue pellets that you have on your hands, those are from plastic detergent bottles. The orange ones, they are from plastic juice jugs.
What's this from?
Oh, those are from packaging. You can see that packaging on the corner. 80% of the landfill, it's packaging. Most of our products that we buy a television, but believe me, 70% it's packaging. The cardboard, the plastic wrap. We install a densifier, and we are making pellets from all the packaging. And the Rio Grande, nobody has a densifier and also a compactor. We jump another step. We jump, instead grinding, now we are pelletizing. We are making raw material from our garbage.
I didn't do it. You can't
Also,
say it like that.
Also, I like what you mentioned, a second chance for our employees. ESD has been hiring lately. I can say that 50% of our employees come from halfway house and also from restitution centers. People, we are giving the second chance. We give them opportunity. We are training them in machine operators, forklift operators, shipping and receiving supervisors. And it's a matter of fact, a couple of drivers, we've been helping for them to get back their license. So we are hiring also citizens, and we giving them the second chance. Not only that, those are employees from ESD sorting the materials at the recycling center. Those are the materials that I mentioned to you, and you can see I've been through schools, from kinders to the high school, and also we receiving tours at the facility. The list of the recyclables is been increasing tremendously. With those machines that we get right now, the centers, it's recycling batteries, oils, filters, small appliances that they used to be on the road. ESD is making cleanups for the city of Brownsville. Those are the list. Also, we open additional drop-off locations. We jumped to, I believe, 9 drop-off locations so far in the schools, in church, community, hospitals. Those are the address and on the phones, and also the schedule. Now, that is how the recycling center looks. For me as an environmental person, we are very, very proud of the citizens of Brownsville, how beautiful it's been their response. We also support the city official, Mr. Camarillo. We've been through many programs together, and thank you for giving us your support.
Well, thank you.
And that is, well, promoting the cleaner, to have a cleaner Brownsville. We've been making cleanups in a couple of areas of the communities. We have tours at the city center, at the recycling center also. We have once a month, we are working with environmental clubs, with girls and boys clubs. We have all the schools these years. We've been training between 5,000 little students this year, 5,000 from pre-K to the university. Everybody received gifts made of recycled product. Those are the containers that we have in the church. We have 4 sectional containers, 6 section, 8 sections. It's based, like a St. Joseph Church, they request a bigger container, and they have like 2 or 3 containers, and we pull those twice a week. Also, we are helping the Valley Regional, the hospitals, the landfills. Also, we working very, very hard with the Winter Texans. We also support our festivities. In the beginning, when we start to do the grinding, okay, it was kind of a dream for us to ESD, to save the city of Brownsville $75,000 yearly. So far, in these 2 years, I've been saving to the city of Brownsville $140,000 in these 2 years. And also, we jumped to 30 employees, and we are very happy with the support from our commissioners. Thank you, and if you have questions.
Dr. Gao, Commissioner Zamora?
Hi, thank you for coming and making the presentation. I placed this on the agenda because there are individuals out there who don't know that there are more than one drop-off locations in the city. So I think it's very important for the community and our residents to know that we have at least a dozen drop-off locations, and you do take all sorts of products, recyclable products. And I also wanted to know where all these recyclable products were going, and if we were, or if you were producing any income off of it or revenue. I didn't know if that was something that the city or our staff could explore when it comes to our contract. I'm being quite frank here, with all due respect, considering our economic times right now and the condition of our departments when it comes to funding for some of our projects. I just wanted to see where our product was going and what type of products are being made off of it, and if your business is growing because it's been so profitable.
Well, business is growing, yes. After the collision of the economy, it was hard to keep the recycling center open. It's a matter of fact, with overtime on Saturdays. And it was hard because ESD covered all the expenses, also the labor cost. And what my contract said, it's that the city of Brownsville will provide just the center, okay? And ESD cover insurance, labor cost, overtime, plus also the subcontractor that you used to have, they used to charge the city of Brownsville a little bit more than $6,500 per month. I don't have any charge for the city of Brownsville. I do this because this is my profession, this is my passion, and we are, Marta, myself, I'm covering all those expenses. So my contract said that let's say my revenue, it will be based on my job. Whatever I pick it up, whatever I process, no matter, each baler that you see at the center, it costs between $5,000 to $7,000. I have 5 balers there. So honestly, at this time, we don't have to pay the city of Brownsville, because let me tell you, in every single city on this state where they have the curbside, the public pay. Every household pay for the service. They charge between $14 to $21, and I don't charge to anyone. That is the reason why we are living, or we are surviving with those sales or with those revenues.
What is your business profit a year?
I'm sorry?
What is your business profit a year?
I think that's inappropriate. This is a
yes, because yes, number one.
Why is that inappropriate?
Because this is America. She's a business person.
I'm a private business.
Private
Number one,
business.
I don't
Not-
work for
it's
the
not
city of
partners with
Brownsville.
the city. She's providing a service to the city under contract.
She's subsidized by the city, and she's making
No,
money off
no,
it.
no, no,
She's
no,
subsidized
sir.
from the city.
No.
Not at all.
She gets a free
She's
building.
no, she's saving the city money.
She's not making money.
She's entitled to make money.
Well, I totally agree with that. but
We
I'm
don't want her
asking
not to make money. I
She's
think
not-
the question
you're not-
is,
we're not her partners.
no, but we're providing her a place to operate her
Can I
business
ask you how
free
much
of
do you make per
charge.
year? No, because it's not my
I make
business.
$90,000 a year.
No, it's not my business, and I don't want to know.
a big deal? I don't have nothing to hide.
I'm a private business.
Well, how much do you make?
I don't have to answer that question, sir.
That's totally uncalled for.
Exactly, sir.
That's really totally uncalled for.
We're
and
giving her a
unprofessional.
building.
It's very unprofessional of us to hear. I mean, if we're going to get into the private industry and ask
Why is that a
people what they're
problem? I
making,
don't see it
that
as being a
you're
problem.
overreaching, and
So
that's
why
totally
you're asking
uncalled
Charo
for.
Days and Sombrero Fest and all them how much they're making?
That is working
yeah.
with the city. Those are entities that we provide service for.
We provide a service.
Yeah, I don't
We
provide
place for
I don't provide
operator
a service.
business.
I provide this is a contract.
Yeah,
This is
I
a
mean,
contract.
The only
Exactly,
reason I'm
it's a
asking is because the
contract.
mayor has asked all these other nonprofits to show us their books
There's no
on how much they're making, like
comparison. There's
Sombrero
no
Fest,
comparison.
Char Days, but
Well,
yet you don't
those
want to
are
do that?
Commissioner,
other
Commissioner
entities.
Gowan,
Thank
there's
you.
no comparison.
Is your contract for a year, 2 years, 5 years? What, I'm not familiar with your contract.
2 years, and every year we renew the contract.
So when does it come up for renewal?
I believe next month.
Okay, and so when, I think, as Commissioner Zamora said, you do great work. That's wonderful. What are your hours of operation?
8 hours daily, from 8 to 4:30.
But I thought that we were going to have 24-hour ability to drop off.
Well, yes, we set up the container outside of the fence. Mr. Camarillo suggests, Commissioner Camarillo suggests that, but then the people, the community, after no matter the container is full, sometimes they set the trash. The health department say that it's trash. They put it on the sides of the fence. They don't even throw it inside of the fence. Okay, so we are with Mr. Camarillo, with his authorization, he suggests for us to put a tarp and not to have the 24/7. Is that right, Mr. Camarillo?
Yes, it is. And I guess let me explain a little bit about the 24/7. The idea was that, you know, I felt, and we talked about this with our Keep Brownsville Beautiful group, that and Healthy Communities, that the city should have a place where the public can go at any time after hours to go take their recyclables. I had heard many people, you know what, Ed, I get out at 5. By the time I go out there, it's closed, or you know what, the containers are you know, they're only there certain days. So it only made sense to try to, again, come up with a 24/7 recycling center, 24/7 drop-off box. But with that, the other issue was, could that one site maintain the volume that it's currently seeing, and it cannot, and I think it's for a number of reasons, and I know we've talked about those. You know, that container would have to be cleared out literally every day.
No, we clear every day,
Well,
but let's say on Sundays.
but
On
there's-
Sundays where everybody has the chance to go and drop the recyclables, nobody's there on Sunday.
Right.
Yes, right, every Monday it's full, every Monday morning we clear it out.
But the other thing is that we don't have no more than, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actual drop-off boxes versus if the way I see it, we need at least 15, maybe even 20, because now everybody's coming downtown. And so now now there's 24/7, so then let's all go.
Yes,
and we
it
can't
looks-
keep
it
up.
looks fine.
I know, exactly. So we can't keep up with that demand. So until we get it right, I thought, you know what, this is going to cause more litter issues. The trash is, you know, things are going to go all out of place. So I thought the recommendation would be to let's close it and let's kind of reevaluate the process and the system, so we can hopefully become a little bit more efficient and look at the additional sites that are much needed around Brownsville, so we can offset some of that, you know, again, some of that, you know, the number of folks that are coming downtown, because they are coming. I mean, there's no doubt every day the traffic that, and I've been there and seen it, the number of traffic that comes there, I mean, it's huge. But we need more containers, I think, and we kind of need to look at how we do this. So therefore, that's what we decided to do.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Camarillo.
Wait a second. I think Dr. Gowan Commissioner Gowan wants to.
Just in follow-up, the locations of the drop-off, you can clearly see that they're stuffed all the time. And it's a concern of mine that it looks horrible, no matter which drop-off station you're talking about. And I think that you have to build into your day picking up more frequently, because I live a block from St. Joe Academy, for example. 4 out of 5 times that I send my kids to dump the cardboard or the plastic, they can't. They come home with it in their hand or the truck because they're full. My kids have gone to the center, your center, several times, and it's been closed, and it wasn't on Sunday. And your pictures, the nice picture that you had was very clean, but 9 times out of 10 when I drive by, it doesn't look like that. It looks like a trash dump, and it seems very unkept. And my concern is, as you're driving into downtown, is that really what we want to see when we drive into downtown? Do we want to see this trash dump right there? I fully support recycling. I think it's wonderful, but I don't think we're getting enough service by the locations that you have. As Commissioner Camarillo said, I think we need either more frequent pickup or more drop-off locations.
Well, yes, Commissioner, but in the past, for the last 18 years, we used to have only the recycling center on Elizabeth. We have the one in Olmito. That doesn't really answer my question. No, yes, let me tell you, because we have at least a little bit more activity. Yes, we can improve, absolutely. But not even about a year ago, I give those pages to the city for them, those flyers, to be in television in Channel 12. Once a month I call them, when you are going to publicize, when you're going to put in TV that we have these locations, that this is the material that we can dump, that you can recycle. And I mean, so far, if you look on Channel 12, we haven't seen those advertisements. So nobody knows. Yes, nobody knows. But if you need help from us, we need your support also.
But what you're saying is that no one knows where to take it, I think.
No, yes,
and yet you're saying also that you don't have either manpower or time to deal with what there is.
We do have manpower, but I go by my contract. It's not my decision. The city of Brownsville write down a contract for me. I don't write down my own contract. They told me that I need to be open from 8 to 4:30. I was working from 7:30 to 5. They told me on Saturdays from 8 to 12:30. I was working all this time from 8 to 3:30.
Martha, Commissioner Tran has a question.
Actually, it's more of a comment. We use the Episcopal Day School Center, and they have...
Robert.
Excuse me.
And
they've actually put a wall around it because it fills up incredibly fast. And if it's full, we go down to St. Joseph. And it's something that we've gotten our kids into doing, and we've been doing that. Your staff is very polite at the Elizabeth Street. They've always been very courteous every time they go. There are some concerns about it's at capacity at this point. And if your contract is up for renewal and you are an entity that does business with this city and you are using our location and our facilities at no charge, then yes, we want to see your books before we renew your contract. That will be something that we will want to see. We want to see what your profit margins are, and we'll want to know how you're going to expand your business to provide more service, because we understand that we have improved service, and we understand that that's a good thing, but we want to continue to move forward and to provide more services because we owe that to our community. And we also owe it to our community to be able to tell them and to be accountable as to what amount of money you're generating at a facility that is supported by their tax dollars. So that's something that you will need to provide. And I believe that I'm not the only commissioner who believes in what I'm telling you right now at this point.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. And one more thing, Ben, you did a presentation today on the revitalization of downtown Brownsville. How does having a recycle center, the heart of Elizabeth Street, where we have our parades and everything, fit this type of business and how it's, growing at the rate it is it not in our best interest to move this type of business out of our downtown area where we have our parades and festivals, and isn't it in the best interest of our city to move this out of where it is right now?
Commissioner,
before you respond.
No, let me just, Commissioner, you mind if I make a comment?
Wait a second. The city manager wants to respond.
Well, hold on. The commissioner's allowing me time to speak. if I can just make a comment, Charlie, I totally hear what you're saying. Let me say this, that we've all been to Austin. If you go downtown Austin, there's a recycling center off the frontage near downtown. It's actually in downtown. It's by there, the police department, if I'm not mistaken, I forgot what street it was. And I took a photo the other day when I was there last month, and it's trashy. And I thought to myself, why is this here? Why does the city of Austin have this recycling center in the heart, basically in the heart of downtown, and why is it like that? And well, I don't know, because I didn't ask anyone. But what I think the recycling center does for downtown, and the reason why we've held a number of cleanups, is to promote it. You know, I think it helps downtown, believe it or not. And although there's issues, and don't get me wrong, there are, the cleanliness and things like that, I think those are things that need to get worked out, that will get worked out regardless, eventually. But to move the center, again, 2 years ago, no one knew what that place was. Nobody knew what it was doing. Now, people know. Our volunteers that go clean up Bronzo know, because we have our cleanup sites there. I think it's a good thing to have it in downtown, because again, I think it promotes the environment, again, recycling, and I think all that ties into revitalization and economic development, and that's important. Again, I just want to point that out. I don't think it's a bad thing. The system and the process is what needs to get worked out.
City Manager, you want to say something?
When we started the project with Ms. Martinez several years ago, in my opinion, recycling is at its adolescent stage in Brownsville. Number two, when prior city managers tried to close down that location, we had City Hall full of people. We cannot close that location. That is not an option. We need to keep that location open, or we will have public outcry. The most public outcry I've seen since I've been here has been when that location was closed for a short time, as decisions made by
It's convenient for a lot of people.
Yeah, that place is in demand.
Yeah.
Now, the contract calls for us to have the ability to audit our location, the location that she is leasing or using that belongs to the city of Brownsville. Not necessarily, she's expanding her business to other locations, and this is a sleeping giant that's about to come to fruition as far as recycling all these products. At the landfill, we have a system of mulching and recycling brush and things like that, which we do very good job at. Now, when this hits school districts and things like this is a huge business that eventually is going to hit our city. It's people are already soliciting for this business, etc. Our contract with Ms. Martinez expires April. And she's already been informed that we have other people that are interested in this kind of business. Now, what occurs here is that all these products don't visit our landfill. So we lose as far as the fees that we charge for the weight of this kind of material when it goes directly to her location. So, you know, we are going to look at the idea of having a location within our landfill where the product is weighed, and plus whatever business receives all this will receive 1,000 times more product, because right now we are still receiving a lot of this kind of product at our landfill from trash that is picked up by our residential and commercial companies that are in contract with the city. So I think this is a very good idea that we initiated a contractual agreement with Ms. Martinez to handle the issues at this certain location, but I do believe that eventually we need to expand on this. And she is correct when she said that when we had the contract with the waste company, we did have to pay a fee to them as per the contract, which we don't pay her. She is correct about that.
Charlie.
Now, auditing the books is our right within the contract, and we can audit the books as to the activity that occurs at the location on Elizabeth Street, and we are going to do, and we do that, and that helps us with the way the business is going and the way the business is growing. Obviously, she's expanded to other locations within the city where she can pick up a lot of this material and recycle, which is good for all of us. Obviously, we have been working
But
on,
we have no right to go and audit that over there. I mean, that's.
we have the right to audit our location.
location,
Our
that's it.
location. I don't know if we have the right to audit everything she does in the city, or what the rest of her
I
business
think
is.
we're overstepping our bounds there.
But we do have the
Anyway,
right to have a contract that expires at a certain time and see what we're going to do to enhance the ability for participation from other companies, and to see how the city is going to aid and assist in making this a bigger type of business.
The options are, Charlie, that the city can go back and take it over again. She's made a huge investment, obviously, and she's got a right to make money. Or put it out for bids, and maybe somebody else will provide better service, or expand the program more, or whatever, and compete with her. I mean, those are the options we have.
Yeah, so we have to follow municipal guidelines. We would, if we can extend contracts with her, then we'll get with legal and fight and determine if we can do that. But obviously, we need to make this a bigger business in the city, and we need to utilize our landfill. We need to use our landfill for this as well. So that's what we're going to get at.
Do you know if other cities have contracts with entities like this one, where they request or they have a percentage of the revenue?
Well, number one, other cities would have to have a landfill, and there's not many cities in this part of the world that have landfills. You have to go to probably Corpus and Corpus's landfill and see that. The other companies that have landfills in our part of the world are private companies, Allied Waste and things like that, which is in Donna. And they really are not in the business of recycling. They're in the business of collecting trash and profiting from trash as per the weight at their scales.
Okay, Charlie.
I think we're basically the ones that have taken the lead in identifying materials that can be recycled. For example, she brought up the fact that she's been recycling the plastic bags, and we know we've been working on an ordinance in relation to the plastic bag. So this will be a big help for us in identifying locations for the bags to be taken to. And that's helped us with a lot of people bringing in the plastic bags to the recycling centers.
On a positive note, first of all, there was nobody willing to step up to the plate other than Marta when we first got started, the recycling, okay? And not many people knew about the location here downtown. There's more awareness has come out of this. There's more sites.
When we started this, we approached her in
We only have
relation.
one site, now we have 7 sites. So
Well,
it's expanded.
The sites that she has is something that she's done. She might have had some of these sites already before she started working with us. But yes, she does have other sites.
And the other positive thing is now we're recycling a lot more materials or products than before when the city was doing.
She is.
So
I believe, for example,
we made a lot of progress.
for example, Walmart has gotten into a contractual agreement with a company to take some of their product to the landfill. So it goes to the landfill and gets weighed, and then they take it to their
I just
location.
don't want to go back to where we were, to where the city ends up with it and it's very limited. That's what we need to encourage.
Well, no, we're going to work with her on expanding this.
We need to
the
encourage
limit
that.
is what she does now. The fact of the matter is we have a lot of the products still going to the landfill. And if we can recycle and save space at the landfill, it's best for us as well.
I don't think anyone is discouraging what she does. In fact, I think we've all commended what she does. She's providing a service that for a long time we didn't have here. But I think we all recognize that it's a service that's growing. It's a need that people are looking at right now more and more in light of everything that's going on with recycling and the environment and going green.
But Commissioner.
Can I finish, please?
Sure.
I didn't interrupt you. But I wanted to be sure that if we're growing and we're about to see curbside recycling, if we're working with an entity that can provide the service for something that's going to be much grander, much bigger than we all anticipated.
We should.
So I think it's fair question to ask about revenue, about what she's providing, because competition, there's nothing wrong with competition. There could be another company, or she could be very, very well a company to grow, to provide a service that could become potentially profitable to us, or to provide additional services in the city. And that's why I placed it on the agenda. I didn't mean to bring you here. I hope you weren't insulted. Just wanted to have a healthy discussion on it.
My
Commissioner,
my question is this: what right do we have to get into her business that she's expanded? That's her business. Now, what she does over here at the recycling center downtown, that's under management. It's been done. It's being done. It is monitored. But to get into her private business, we have no business doing that.
And
I think we're overreaching.
Can I get a float for Char Days too?
I agree with that, and I also agree with us not even touching Sombrero Fest and everybody else either. But one of the things that the Commissioner Zamora touched on is, and as you recall, Commissioner, one of the things that you suggested in relation to residential garbage was that we have a separate pickup of recycling, which is going to be done, and eventually we'll get into that where our residential garbage company will pick up the recycling and take it to the landfill. Then we can work out something with Ms. Martinez to come pick it up or get it to her. So for now, anyway, until we get into so this is evolving into something that's gonna get a lot bigger than we have been working with. This is going to be a huge business. And yes, we have to give her credit for bringing it up to us years ago and establishing the fact that we needed something done at the certain location, because like I say, when someone suggested that it be closed, it created public outcry, and we had to reopen it pretty quick. And she was the one that offered the idea to us, and it's been working pretty well, other than the fact that we have had some issues with the location being overwhelmed with activity. However, we are monitoring that. If you go by there right now, it's perfectly clean. We've been working with her to assure that maintains and stays that way. So I believe our relationship with her has been well. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. Any other questions?
I have my business is not only the recycling center. I've been in this business for more than 24 years. My background as an environmental engineer, we do consultants. We also work with the maquiladoras, not only in Matamoros, it's worldwide. My business is not coming from the city of Brownsville, honestly. My revenues, no. I'm not making my money with recyclable from the city. My business, I've been owning this business for more than 18 years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item, 14.
No, we'll just put no. We were just not present for those three.
Hello, Allison.
Presentation and discussion regarding a potential policy related to awarding proclamations and/or certificates by City Commission.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. This item is regarding the whether or not the City of Brownsville might adopt a proclamations policy. Some cities in Texas have such policies. Brownsville currently does not. So what I did is I did a little research, and I looked into what some other cities in Texas do. For example, in San Antonio, they have a policy that they offer proclamations for observance of specific days or months, such as Cancer Awareness Month or Crime Prevention Week, things like that. They also recognize nonprofit organizations and certain milestones. San Antonio is a little unique in that they don't offer proclamations for individuals. Houston's a little more broad. They offer proclamations for a lot of events they consider significant, as well as civic celebrations, and they do recognize individuals as well as organizations. Houston also offers letters of appreciation and certificates of recognition as alternatives to those items that don't meet their criteria for proclamations.
They do it on separate dates.
Dallas, kind of similar. They offer them for people or organizations for accomplishments or contributions to the city itself. Also, they have the alternative of letters of appreciation or certificates. Similar with Fort Worth, they kind of, line out what they don't do as opposed to what they do. No proclamations for business openings, birthdays, anniversaries, and they also have the alternative for certificates and letters of appreciation. And then finally, Cedar Park and Tyler, individuals, organizations, special events or days that are noteworthy or historically significant, and none for commercial purposes, birthdays, anniversaries, and the like. So, that's just kind of a snapshot, but basically the common thread is that proclamations among these cities are offered for items of high significance. The options for individuals vary. In San Antonio, there are none. And each city seems to offer other options like letters and certificates of appreciation for those items not meeting the criteria for proclamations. Other than First Amendment, there really aren't too many legal issues to touch on. I think it's more of a policy decision for the governing body to make.
Thank you, Allison. Any questions?
Allison, is there any sense in those cities that you looked at, when you say not meet the criteria for proclamations, do they publish their criteria?
Yeah, each city has a website that has basically a form you fill out indicating if you want a proclamation or a letter or whatnot. You fill out what you want it for, and then either the mayor or the commission determines whether or not it meets the criteria. In fact, I think it's San Antonio's is actually codified.
And do they limit the number of proclamations that are given at any one? Do they all give them at the commission meetings, and do they limit the number per meeting if they do?
I didn't see a single city that limited the number. I looked for that.
Houston does that on a separate date.
Houston does it on a separate date.
Okay.
Thank you so much, especially to Commissioner Zamoto for asking for the information. It just seems that when there are times like last time, when there are a dozen different proclamations to give in one meeting, it kind of takes the specialness of the proclamation away in some ways and becomes tedious for the people listening at home.
Any other questions?
I have a comment. I know that our city secretary, Estella, has also come up or drafted a form to apply for proclamations. Hopefully she sent it to all the other commissioners. It's something for us to look at in the future. And I was also concerned with the number of proclamations being given at the meetings because they did take up a lot of time. Not that they weren't all deserving. We could maybe possibly come up with a certificate like some of these other cities do, or we can provide them in a subsequent meeting or at an event. And another one of my concerns that was actually brought to my attention by city staff is, should we give proclamations to city staff who are doing their job? I mean, I love our city staff. They go above and beyond, but to give a proclamation, that was something that was also brought to my attention. So thank you very much for showing us what the policies are for some of the other cities.
Okay, thank you, Allison. Next item.
Okay.
Item 15.
Item 15, presentation and discussion regarding ordinance enforcement efforts in the city of Brownsville.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, just quickly, we've got what could be a lengthy presentation for you tonight, and so I'm going to try to breeze through this here fairly quickly. Please do. Thank you. 22 departments in the city of Brownsville. There are 6 departments that we're going to present to you. It'd be amazing for me to go brief. Is that what you think? 6 departments that we're going to hear from today that do what we call ordinance enforcement in the city of Brownsville. Bear in mind, there are technical differences between code enforcement, law enforcement, ordinance enforcement in many different ways. There are many departments that are performing these tasks within the city. We do not have one code enforcement department. As you'll see here, there's a list of 6 of them that you're going to hear from in just a short while. Health, building inspections, fire planning, public works, and the Heritage Department downtown. A couple of other departments that you'll note are missing from there. The police department that you're well familiar with in terms of law enforcement, dealing with traffic ordinances, noise ordinance, which by the way is an ordinance that we're working on revising right now and will hopefully be coming to you soon. Also taxis and limousine licensing, and then the traffic department that enforces traffic and parking in downtown areas of Brownsville. One of the things that I want to point out as we get ready to do this is please note that many of these departments, in fact all of these departments, do multiple tasks aside from just ordinance enforcement. Obviously the police department's a good example of that. They spend a lot of their time focusing on the criminal statutes, and in terms of say animal rules or different things like that, you've got the health department that can deal with that. You typically won't see a police officer going in and checking the health code in a restaurant. There are other folks in the city that specialize in those areas from different departments. The Heritage Department, another example, they have authority to do limited enforcement of heritage codes within the overlay district, as you'll hear, but they also run the Brownsville Film Commission. So there are a lot of hats being worn by different departments. And as you're going to see in the presentations that are to come, a lot of these departments have wide ranges of the actual enforcement they do, in large part because of the fact that they have so many other additional duties that they're doing at the same time.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Are you headed anywhere with this? In other words, are you proposing future ordinances or future ordinances?
Not yet.
Okay, let me tell
I just
you-
wanted to
Okay.
educate myself and the public, because I do get frequent questions, who do I call
Okay.
for this particular code
This
enforcement
is-
issue?
And I don't want to be a jerk, and I don't, and I don't mean to come off this way, but this is what we're here to learn. This is what we do on our own time when we go into our director's offices, and we learn from them,
Mhm.
and in the decisions that we make. You know, I mean, I'm tired. I'm sure you're tired too, and I mean, this is, you know, this is
I think
what
it's
as
important.
as elected officials, this is what we're supposed to do, and go to our department heads and learn. You know, I just don't agree with taking up time at a city commission meeting. I mean, if it's leading somewhere, by all means, you know, let's go through this exercise. But in essence, this is something out of, you know, within the scope of our duties and within our job, you know, that we have to learn basically on our own, which we've all done.
Uh,
I'm extending the courtesy of the commissioner, whatever she wants. I mean, she wants to learn from this. She wants the public to learn from it. If she wants to proceed.
That's not my intention of placing this on the agenda. I go above and
Commissioner, do you want to
beyond.
proceed with this?
Yes, I do. I think it's
Please
important for the
proceed.
public to know what we're doing and what departments are working on.
It is on the agenda. Please proceed unless somebody wants to make a motion to.
All right, with that, we've got about 3 slides for each department. We're going to start with Art Rodriguez from the Brownsville Health Department.
Jeff, before you do go, I guess want to, because I know you oversee each of the departments that are going to come up and speak. One of the things that should be noted that they all wear, you know, they all have each department does a multiple different things, and the fire marshal wouldn't go do something for animal control and vice versa. But a lot of these folks are on the road, and sometimes I wonder why it is that it takes a complaint from the citizen to call one of us of an issue that could have been seen by anybody who's on the road, public works, engineers, or whomever. You know, if I'm out to go into a call to inspect a home, yet I see graffiti or I see, you know, trash and debris, why am I not connecting with code or health? And I really don't see that happening. You know, why isn't it? You know, especially all the people that we have that are on the road constantly. But my job is this, and I'm doing my job. We can't do that. And I know the health department and code is always pressed, and we always tack on more and more and more with the limited amount of staff. But this should go for every department. Folks that are on the road, if they see something that doesn't look right, well, that light's out at night, guess what? Jot it down, email, boom, send it, please work on this. Or you know what? Weedy lot, code, work on this. And I'm a building inspector, yet I saw something that doesn't look right, I should do that. Every employee should. If they're if they're in a vehicle, city vehicle, and they go do whatever they're supposed to, they should all help each other. They can't go to the call, I understand that, but if they see something that doesn't look right, somebody should call it in or email it and say, we should take care of that situation.
Well, if I could, and I agree with you. Now, one of the things two different ways I want to answer your question or your comment. Number one is we do encourage city staff, and you're going to hear, in fact, one of the things that's not on the presentation, because I tried to keep it short, is I asked each of these departments, list for me all the other departments that you work with on a regular basis in terms of these complaints. It was too much information to put in the presentation. A lot of these departments listed, 10, 12 different city departments on top of outside agencies that they routinely work with, not just in terms of resolving the issues that they find, but in terms of getting input from other agencies and other departments in reference to where the problem sites are. So that is happening. The other thing that you're going to see, though, when you look at the presentation, you're going to notice that the numbers of officers may be a little bit lower than what you may expect. A lot of these folks that are doing ordinance enforcement are very highly trained, and there are specific things that they're looking for that to you or me may not seem that out of place. But to a trained ordinance enforcement officer, for instance, who drives by a weedy lot and sees that the grass is X height, that's a problem, where other employees or other people in the community might just drive right past it. And so as a result, you're going to see that a lot of these folks are highly trained. They know and they communicate regularly between themselves. But to train other employees within the city on some of those technicalities would be a little bit difficult for us. We try to give them as much support as we can. And again, I think the numbers will kind of speak for themselves. We wish we had more folks to go out there and do what we do, but
I agree, and we need it. And I'll say, I know code enforcement works with PD and the fire marshal office. I mean, I've been with them on numerous times where we've gone either, dilapidated homes, where they're kicking in doors and looking for, things that have caused trouble or, whatever it is, and they do work hand in hand, and I really do appreciate it because it says a lot about the department. But obviously, it's not just code; it's fire, it's PD, and they all help each other. So that's a great thing.
And it even includes the legal department.
Right.
We've got John Chosey, who is now working specifically with a lot of these particular departments you're going to hear from in trying to develop the prosecution side of what we're seeing so that we can get better response from the public in terms of complying with the ordinances. But I agree. With that,
you want to continue, please?
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, good evening. My goals are at the end of today that I will have added 7 more ordinance compliance officers. The Public Health Department is primarily enforcing many of the ordinances that, and I'll give a description of some of the different ones that we focus on. Chapter 10, for example, includes all of our animal control, care control, dogs, cats, domestic pets, rabies control, impoundment, wild animals, commerce and live animals. Chapter 22, for example, businesses, is our Texas statutes, which includes all of our food and food service establishments. Chapter 54 is health and sanitation, which includes our mosquito control, rat control, unsightly, unsanitary, and certain nuisance and offensive conditions. Chapter 46, also backing up to Chapter 46, also our smoking in public places. I'm sorry, Chapter 54. Going on to Chapter 46, environmental, we deal with litter, junk, and abandoned vehicles. Chapter 82, solid waste. Chapter 86, streets, sidewalks, certain other public places, for example, prohibited selling on the street, sidewalk, and the use of certain vacant lots for certain restricted uses. General authority of city relative to city streets. In certain streets, vending is not permitted due to traffic situations developing. Chapter 90, swimming pools. All public swimming pools areas are inspected by our code enforcement officers. Basically, our department acts in the Brownsville city limits and some of the ETJ areas, our extraterritorial jurisdiction areas. Just a summary of our different divisions. Our animal control division with 6 inspectors responded, transported, or interacted with the public in nearly 7,000 requests for service. This can include bringing in pets, lost animals to the shelter, in some cases working with the vets, working with the public sometimes, if the pet does have a tag, to take it into the household. Our foods division with 5 inspectors, we have about 1,900 license or permittees in Brownsville. So this is just a summary of our inspections for our last annual reporting period. Our code ordinance division with 9 inspectors, we respond to over 5,812 requests for services. And many of these requests, they are usually not just ordinance enforcement. Some of these will result in some other department being contacted. And lastly, our vector control, which shows 2 inspectors for a total of 1,251 calls, can involve the vector control calls, the bees, many times the spraying for mosquitoes. I do want to add that although we show a total of 22 inspectors, we have, for example, 5 machines, vector control machines that we use, and we will move staff around to be able to rise to the occasion. This is our contact information. This is important because we do get many phone calls. We did not provide the stats for that here, but the public is welcome to contact us at those numbers, and also our website has some information available.
Do you put these out on Channel 12?
Yes, we do, sir.
They come, they're every day. They roll 3 or 4 times?
I can't speak for every day. I would need to ask our Channel 12 stuff. We don't play a role in programming for Channel 12, but I know that the numbers are always available.
We also included the monthly newspaper that residents get in their newspaper at home. I mean, it's every single department's phone number.
Call the switchboard in the directory.
We put them out in the newspaper also, so people can cut it out and put it on their refrigerator.
Thank you, Art.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thanks,
Item
sir.
16.
You get 3 minutes.
Item 16.
Are we
Same presentation.
This presentation's not over.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Commission.
Okay.
Can you limit them to 3 minutes?
Also, we're located on City Plaza, 2nd floor, and it's at 1034 East Levy Street, right across the hall from the Health Department. Okay. Chapter 8, primary ordinances enforced. Chapter 8, contractor registration, building codes. We work with the heritage, sidewalks, we're moving, demolition, building and structures, unsafe, dilapidated building and structures, electrical code, mechanical code, which is the same thing as air condition, plumbing code, gas code, excavations, grading, energy conservation code, and a windstorm code. Chapter 22, which is just a new ordinance, car title loan businesses. Chapter 58, housing code. Chapter 90, swimming pool code, which we inspect the bonding, plumbing on the swimming pool, and the gunite inspection. Chapter 308, floodplain management on the permits, building permits. Chapter 316, mobile homes and manufactured homes. Chapter 318, telecommunication towers. Chapter 332, subdivisions. Chapter 344, landscaping. Chapter 348, zoning. Geographic area responsibility, the Brownsville city limits, and some ETJ. Enforcement activity, we have 10 inspectors, field inspectors, and we get around almost 1,200 inspections per year. 10 inspectors specialize in building codes, 4 inspectors specialize in electrical codes. And 3 inspectors specialize on plumbing codes. And of course, our business, or the main line in our office is 550-8345, and there's always there during the lunchtime hour from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. to answer any calls. Our website is for anybody that's wants to find out anything about regarding our applications, fees, anything like that.
Let me commend, Evaristo, your department, all the departments. They do an awesome job with a very limited resources, especially manpower. Like trying to keep up with 1,000 restaurants in the city with 5 inspectors, or in your department, with the amount of inspectors you have, you do quite a bit. And I know you go way beyond Call of Duty, and you really work hard, and we appreciate it.
Any questions?
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do. He's always accessible and he's eager to help. Item 16.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Still?
Next. Yes, sir.
How many more?
10 more, Mayor.
Three more after me,
more?
sir. Yes, sir. Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. The Fire Marshal's Office is located at 1036 East Levy. We basically, primary ordinance is Chapter 50, which is the Fire Prevention Protection Code. In it, it's the edition that we're using currently is the 2006 edition of the International Fire Code, and it also includes Appendix A through G of the International Code Councils. We also follow the fireworks code. Well, we forgot to mention here. We also oversee that particular part of the ordinance, also in Chapter 50. Our geographical responsibility is also the city limits and some ETJ. We currently have 5 inspectors. They've done 1,844 inspections last year. They also do investigations of building fires and also complaints. That's part of the deal they do. One other thing they do is they go out and do public fire education classes. Last year we had 398 of them. That's with our inspectors and also our firefighters together working in tandem. The Fire Marshal's Office is 548-6075. And our email is www.cob.us/fire. Any questions?
Any questions?
Thanks, Chief.
Next.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Basically, we're more or less trying to comply or use our personnel to comply with our programs that we administer. And since we're basically the funders, we basically pay for all demolitions because we get that money from CDBG. So we enforce Chapter 18, the buildings and building regulations. We have inspect dilapidated structures. We closely work with the fire, police, and building official. We have one inspector, or one enforcement officer, I guess that's zero, but he's in training. I guess we're an enforcement officer in training. And basically we, last year did 15, we demolished 15 units. Not that we inspected 15, we did a lot more than that. But we took the structure all the way to the building standards, all the way to demolition.
Then what's the last meeting of the building standards?
Mr. Gomez?
I've gotten calls from some of the members, and they're saying that y'all haven't been meeting that they want to meet.
Mr. Gomez is in charge of that committee. We basically provide information to
I think
him.
they're meeting tomorrow, right?
Last meeting with the.
Believe the last meeting we had was about 6 months ago. Just because we have not had a meeting, that does not mean the program is not active. We do have the inspectors out there that go and they do visual inspections on those dilapidated structures. We do have created the file, and once we're ready to go before the Building Standard Commission Board, we will do, and then there will be go before the purchasing department for a contract, so that contract can be awarded, so that way we can go ahead and start demolishing those structures.
You have several committee members that are wondering when you're going to have your next meeting.
Sir?
You have several committee members who are wondering when their next meeting is going to be.
Okay.
Mr. Gomez, and since we're on that note of dilapidated homes, you know, and I know we get this a lot, well, we have to wait, or, you know, we don't have enough monies right now, or, you know, CDBG has the money so we can tear down these homes. If we have 10 homes or 5 homes that are ready to get taken down now, and there should be no question of whether, well, we can't afford it, we should. We should get the monies, whatever it takes, and tear down those homes, because we know that it's causing other issues for PD, it's causing the neighbors issues, and again, the issue shouldn't be, well, do we have the money to do it? Just do it. Find the money, get it, Pete, make it happen, and tear down those homes.
Fire somebody. Okay, continue, Ben.
Sorry.
Basically, Mayor, this is our phone number, 548-6150, and our website is available on that site as well.
Thank you, Ben. Who's next?
Thanks, Ben.
Santana?
Good evening, Mayor, City Commissioners. Public Works, 6035 Coffee Board Road.
This should have been a workshop.
Primary Ordinance, Chapter 46. Actually, we aid, all these are departments that have been up here, we help them out on environmentals. This is issues dealing with water, land, and air contamination as it affects our environment, illegal dumping into our waterways and storm sewers. This can include also the filling in of resacas. Our ETJ is within the city of Brownsville and the surrounding areas. We have one environmental coordinator. And our numbers are 838-6253, and we can be reached at our website, the COB, U.S. Public Works. Thank you.
Thank you, Santana. Okay, Peter Goodwin?
Peter Goodman, Heritage Department.
Boom.
We're a little different than some of the other departments in that we only have, according to ordinance, there are only 2 ordinances that we can enforce. One is demolition by neglect, and the other is Article 9 of Chapter 348. I can tell you one thing, happily we've, well, the other thing that does set us apart is the geographic area, and that according again to ordinance, we only have jurisdiction over the 011 overlay district. That's the original town site, mostly the downtown business area and residential, West Brownsville, Los Ebanos, and Buena Vida. Okay, when we say inspections to us are anytime we have to go out, and basically we work on a one-to-one collaboration with the folks in town. And so we've never actually issued a citation. And we've gotten everything cured by just talking to people. We find it's a marvelous method. And in most instances, it actually works. Especially because when you're dealing with a home or a building, it's not just a one-time contact. You have to go back and work with them on various items to get them to comply and to get them to understand. Please understand also that except for 2 instances, everything that we issue a permit for, which is called a Class L, is also generated by the Buildings Permitting Department. In other words, if you want to put on a new roof to your house, you need a roofing permit as well as a Class L if it's in the overlay district or a heritage building. So if somebody has not complied, they have not only not complied with us, but they've got a bigger problem because they have not complied. They don't have probably a permit, or they have not complied with the permit from building inspections. And so normally building inspections would be the one that they would have to comply with. And building inspections, I understand, normally would double their fee or something, compensation as punishment, until they rectify the situation. And so we have asked them one time to issue a citation on the prevention of demolition by neglect, where constant contact failed, and they issued the citation, and the party came in, met with the judge gave them 30 days, and within 3 days they had cured. And so it was just dropped. And that's the only time we've ever had to issue anything.
Peter, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is there a reason why the boards are still up around your building?
Yes, I'm glad you asked that. I'm so glad you asked that. Because
Because
we
it
have no
bothers the heck
windows.
out of
We
me,
have
I'm
no
sorry.
windows. We like to tell people that the reason they're up is because hurricane season. Unfortunately, when it was just before I came, so it's 13 years ago that space was redone. And when they did the windows, they used soft pine, and they didn't use treated lumber. And I can tell you what happens to soft pine in Brownsville. I could show it to you, what's left of it. It has mushrooms, it's soft, the glass fell out. We don't have any windows. And so originally, we just left them in to keep the glass there. And the last time that we removed them, the glass actually fell out. And so, actually, those kind of windows are kind of expensive to duplicate. Although they're new windows, they're not historic windows, and just, you know, in shape, so that they match the rest of the building. Public Works has some very talented carpenters, and they've agreed to make us windows, and we now have lumber that is drying now.
How long will that take, Peter?
Because they don't, because termites won't eat treated lumber.
Right. Well,
Because we also have termites.
How long would it take? Because those boards have been up there, it seems like more than a year now.
Oh, yeah. The lumber should be dry in about a month.
Okay.
And then they're ready, and I should tell you, I suppose, look at the windows around the rest of the building. And don't look up at the big ones around the stairwell.
Okay.
Don't stand under them.
There's the phone number and the website. Thank you, Peter.
You're welcome.
What about the enforcement of our downtown businesses, particularly the ropa usadas, where you can see all the clothing on the floor, and then we had a fire?
That's not
most
under this.
recently.
That's not heritage,
That's
that's
not,
fire
someone
and
told me that
buildings.
was under your,
Doesn't fall under us.
it doesn't?
No.
That's a joint effort of the fire marshal and our building official. And that's being done right now after the recent fire. And we already have a list of inspections we've already done. And one of the things we want to make clear to them that some of them they're stores and not a warehouse. So we're going to identify to them the locations where they can warehouse clothing. They're not supposed to store it within their, unless they fit the description of a warehouse, they cannot store it within their property where they have the store. So we got locations where they can go to. And we're working on that right now, Commissioner.
Okay.
And the certificates of occupancy, as the city manager mentioned, are for retail, not for warehousing.
Right.
So they're in violation even if there's certificates of occupancy.
We're gonna be strong on that, so we don't.
Good.
Needs to happen.
Is there anybody else?
No.
That's it? Okay, thank you. Item 16.
We already did
We have to go
16.
back to 14, but I'd like to table 14.
You want to go back to 14?
Yes, because we skipped it.
Okay, item 14.
Move the table.
You move the table? Okay, motion to table item 14. Do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 16.
Item 16, presentation and discussion regarding City of Brownsville park rules.
I am number 16. I'm the final one. Mayor, Commissioners, before I start, I'd like to thank everybody for attending or paying part in the tribute at Veterans Day, city management, everybody. We were honored, the veterans and also the families that were there. It was the best attended memorial event that we've had since I've been here 9 years. Really appreciate it. Basically,
We tabled this already. I didn't mean to interrupt, but your item was 14 and it was tabled.
on 16, I had,
Well, I thought we were doing item 16. You're item 16.
16.
I'm looking at my agenda on my computer. Is
I
it
think she
correct?
means to table this one, but it's
Well, I
maybe,
got item
it's,
16 right here is
I know, but it's
presentation
numbered
discussion
wrong.
regarding City of Brownsville park rules.
she has a different numbering on her
Yeah, I do
agenda.
have a different number on my agenda.
Well, what do you want to do item 16?
We already, well, we tabled, motion to table. We already did.
You want to table this one too?
It's just his, it's the same one. My numbering is different on my computer for some reason. Sorry.
That's
My
okay.
apologies.
And we can continue. Okay. Basically, I put this up here. It's going to be hard to read this page because this isn't intended for the presentation.
They tabled you.
This has been tabled.
That's why I'm asking if I
Yeah.
should.
Thank you for your time.
Okay.
Sorry,
14
Chris.
and 16 is tabled.
Sorry, it was tabled.
Okay.
Thanks.
14 and 16 is tabled.
Thank you, Chris.
We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.